Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Travis, otherwise known as Zendark, your local resident wizard and enchanter here from ATOD, and we are again doing Magpie Madness. And I have a wonderful cast and crew here today joining me, and we are playing Urban Shadows. We have lots of wonderful things to talk about today. So this is our second annual Magpie Madness. We're happy to do this again. We are once again also sponsored by Magpie, so we have a giveaway. So we'll remind you again later in the stream, but type in. Oh, I have a double voice, I'm being told. Let me see if I mute myself here. Maybe now is this better?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, is that better? One voice now. Thank you. Can you still hear me? Oh, thank you so much, Kelleran. Appreciate that. Um, uh, Let me reintroduce myself again. I am Zendark, your local resident wizard, and I still messed it up. Your local resident wizard and enchanter, and I am here proud to announce Magpie Madness, and we are sponsored by our lovely team there. We are a tale of D20s, and we are happy to have you here. We have a lovely charity, so you can see within our chat today a donation button. We are trying to raise $1,000 by the end of the year, and we are partially there. So if you'd like to contribute, we'd love to have that. And we are also happy to have you here and proud to say that we are sponsored and have a giveaway. So please type Magpie Madness as two separate words in the chat at some point during the stream today, and you will get entered in a chance to win one of the books. So every time we stream, which we have lots and lots all month long, you will be given a chance to get one of the prizes, and we will ship it to you, or they will ship it to you. So that will be announced later today. Magpie. Maybe no extra woo, Caloran. Thanks for that warning. That might not. We might have a bot that catches it. So Magpie Madness. No other other words and exclamations, and then you will be entered in a chance to win. So with that, I will pass it over to our fantastic returning GM here, Diana Moon, to introduce herself and the cast and the game, and then we will get started.
Oh, that's
Diana, take it
everybody.
away.
I go by Diana Moon Online. I hope you can hear me. Sometimes I'm paranoid about my mic, as JP knows. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter, still at Twitter, and Twitter at YouTube. Sorry, it has been a week. I've been melting. Twitter and Blue Sky as Diana Moon, or Twitch and YouTube as X Diana Moon X. You can also find me and JP on the Reclaimers on Nerdgasm Noir Twitch on Sundays, an all POC TTRPG cast, where we're currently going through Castles in the Air, a Gilded Age RPG, where you start as children and become messy adults, like we all are. Um, I am very excited to be back again. Thank you all for inviting me back to run one of my favorite games of all time, which is Urban Shadows. It is, let me, in case you are new to Urban Shadows, let me go into the little summary I always post. Ba, 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 ba. Urban Shadows is a political urban fantasy RPG in which mortals and supernaturals alike vie for power in a modern day city. I choose San Francisco because I love the city and I know it best. Vampires, fairies, hunters, wizards, and more clash in the shadows or make backroom deals for their piece of the streets and skyscrapers. No one is ever safe and everything is always at stake. Um, for the purpose of this particular three shot that we're doing, so it's not just today, it'll be next Friday and the Friday after. We are doing character creation on screen, so that way people can have an idea of what's going on. We are using the updated 2.0 edition rule set that has not been given out to the public yet. Me, who is a backer of the Kickstarter, has the core preview. So, if any of you had watched last year's or has played the quick start version of Urban Shadows, there will be some differences, especially with some of the playbooks that are of use. But again, we're going to go through character creation. Luckily, everybody has chosen the type of character they're going to want to be. So when we get to you, please give us your name, your pronouns. If you have a character name already and pronouns for them, feel free to shout that out and what playbook. Um, and yeah, where we can find you real quick because I think it's good to know where we all are at and be a community online. I won't be like D, so I won't point out JP first, and actually I'll go to Tailsweaver.
Sure, sure. Hello, everyone. You all know me as Tailweaver, aka Omar. Uh, and I can be found here at a Tale of D20s, or you could find me online at The Tailweaver, or just on a taleod20s.com or anything at a Tale of D20s. I will be playing the hunter this time, and my hunter's name is Jesus Pena. And I got a little cosplay going on that you'll see as we start to play. We pop it in there. I mean, I can give you guys like a little tidbit if you don't mind. So he's a hunter who slays demons and other supernatural creatures, and he puts on the mask of the first demon he's ever slayed when he's ready to fight.
Ooh.
So I will probably be donning that whenever we get into some action scenes.
Exciting.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Let's go down to Zeki, please.
Hey everybody, Zektown here. You can find me on, he, him. You can find me on the internet at Zektown. I have been fortunate enough to just keep one handle for a very long time, and I'm very, very happy about that. Tonight I will be playing Mark Bellamere, also he, him, uh, with the Vamp playbook. So, very excited to play a vampire.
Curious, what kind of vampire are you?
A seductive vampire. Oh, but
I mean,
uh,
that's all vampires. We know this.
well, perfect. Um, do you mean specifically between blood, uh, flesh,
Emotion.
or emotions?
Yeah,
An emotional vampire.
of course. Love those emotional vampires. Excellent. Thank you. JP, it is now your turn.
Hi, I'm JP Fairfield. I use she, her pronouns. All of my social stuff and doings around the internet could be found on my card, which is jpfairfield.carrd.co. Um, and I am playing Scratch, who is using the playbook, The Imp, and she is a cat demon. And she's a bit of a brat. So she's used to getting her way in a lot of things. So
It'll be fun to see how she plays out in this time around. Thank
yeah.
you. And then
And she
last
also
but
used she, her pronouns.
yes, thank you. Last but not least, Zenedic.
Oh, thank you very much. I am uh, Travis, otherwise known as Zendark, he, him, and today I will be playing Gabriel Walnut, also he, him, the wizard. I got to play the Fae last time, and everyone who knows me, and even as I bumbled my entrance this morning, I love a wizard and cannot wait to play him today. So I'm happy to bring Gabriel to life, and he is an elder gentleman. He is stalwart. He is ominous. He is a protector and a caregiver. He might have a soft side, but he seems very stern, and I can't wait to bring him to life.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, before we get into the steps of character creation, let have everybody percolate on the theme of this three shot, which is in the city of San Francisco in mid October. The Wizards are opening their vault to the unnatural public for one night, ready to strike deals for its contents. There's hidden artifacts, stolen treasures, and ancient accords that lie within. Can you emerge from the depths with newfound power, or did you just stumble upon something that even a sworn can't protect you from? That is the theme. Is start like a day or so before everybody will have received a special invitation in different ways, which we'll get into once the characters are put together. Luckily, everybody has chosen their playbooks, has an idea of names, but I'm going to go through everything. Which first, safety tools. I, like many other GMs, like to use safety tools on our games, both online and offline. The easy stuff first. I use the X card, so whenever anybody needs, like, if a subject comes up, a detail they don't like, a name that they're uncomfortable with, you can just say X card that or put it in our Discord. And you don't have to explain why you're X carding. We might just clarify, is it this particular thing? Okay, cool. No, no problem. We also have an open table policy, so if you ever have to step away because there's an emergency going on or you're not feeling well, feel free to do so. If you know you're not coming back, just let me know. You don't have to tell me why again, just so that way we can continue on with the game and everything is totally fine if that happens. I also like to use a script change where in a session you can always pause. Not just, it doesn't matter that we're streaming and we're entertaining. If you have a rules question or if you're confused on what the other player is doing, you can say, hey, pause, what do you mean here? So that way the players understand. The characters can miscommunicate all they like, but the players cannot be miscommunicating with each other. Or if you just need a moment for whatever reason, we can also do a rewind where, like, because you finally understood the rule or you realize, oh, my wizard wouldn't have done that in the heat of the moment. Can we redo that? Totally okay, because this is all about us enjoying the characters, enjoying the story play. And then there's fast forward, which is similar to Fade to Black. The example I like to use is, all right, you're interrogating someone. You know you're going to have to interrogate them extremely roughly. You've already rolled successfully that doing it this way will get the results. We'll fade to black to the other side of them giving you the answers and not have to actually go through how you interrogated them. Same thing with any possible romantic or sexual scenes. We fade to black once we know it's going to happen, kind of situation. And then obviously, finally, we use lines and veils, which I had the players fill out when they could get a chance. That is a living document. Just because you filled it out doesn't mean you don't get to add things into it. You can always, in between sessions, during sessions, be like, oh, I didn't think this would come up, but it looks like it might. Can we, like, veil it or everything? The one that is in the character sheet that I created does an interesting thing, usually for more longer campaigns, and feel free to use it, is it's a line veil, ask first, because it could be situational, and then interested. So if there's topics that you'd like to explore, if we get a chance to, that's fine. If someone marks interested and someone else marks it as a line, obviously the line supersedes everything. And then I also have a table that I stole from when I would run Passion Less Passiones, a romance table. Not everybody online or offline is comfortable doing romances in RP. So there is the options to, like, say, yeah, I'm comfortable with an NPC, or I am comfortable with a PC, or, like, maybe in these situations, or, like, you know, like, or maybe you need to ask first, kind of thing. So we have all of that because I like romance and everything, even in gritty supernatural noir kind of games like this. Because why not? It makes the drama extra spicy, and it's the only spice I can handle because I can't handle it in real life. And yeah, so I am going to go through what we have right now for the lines and veils for everybody to know. We do have lines on eye injury, racism, sexual assault, slavery, suicide, homophobia, characters named Louis Luis, and epidemic plague. We have a veil on graphic gore and torture. Ask first on childhood abandonment, harm to animals or children, sexual content, sibling death. And then we have a few interested items, which it doesn't mean it will come up. Again, none of these doesn't mean it might come up or that's the kind of game I run, but it's good to know because you just never know. So interested in possibly alcoholism, classism, drug abuse, death of parental figures, hospital scenes, and consensual relationships between PCs or NPCs. And it seems like we're all a go to have some messy drama romance. I'm excited to see how that's going to look with this particular group of people. I know that's a lot. If anybody in chat or on the table have any questions about any of these, feel free to ask as I look at what we're supposed to do next. Because it's been a minute since I ran Urban Shadows. I'm very happy to be back to running it again for this table. So, And then we'll be doing a reintroduction of everybody so that we can do relationships and debts and everything. And just for the sake of simplicity, we are, if anybody's interested, using the downtown hub because I think probably would be the closest thing that you would need to utilize uh, for getting what you want to get at the Wizard Vault. So, if you haven't already, please decide, and I think everybody did, your name and your pronouns. Have an idea of what your look is. You can, if you have the PDF open with playbooks, they give you examples, like a pick list of what kind of looks it can be, like androgynous, shifting, non-conforming, dark clothing, maybe dirty clothing. Depending on your playbook, there will be slight variances of that. And of course, decide your demeanor. This is how you're mostly going to default into your personality. Doesn't mean that's your entire thing, but it's a good starting point. Um, the next thing to do. So this, even years later of running 2.0, I still get a little confused with this with the whole stats and circle advancement because you have status, which is a circle status, and then regular circles. And with a Google character sheet like this, sometimes it's hard to differentiate um, than with the. I apologize. I finally see the messages. That could be because of my fan. Also, I will figure that out. Maybe if I do this. Does this sound any better to y'all? Am I sounding okay, more level, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I was in my spiel, so I didn't look at the chat because I was like, must answer everything. Um, so let me explain. So circles, which is Mortalis, Night, Power, and Wild, those are essentially the communities slash factions of the supernatural world. The Your status in it determines on how people can perceive you. Like, are you just like a lackey? Are you a nobody? Obviously, if you have a status 1, which you default to whatever playbook you are in, what their main circle is, then you're kind of like known. Some people would know your name. Status 2 tends to be people who are starting to become leaders of the group that, like, they're the ones that you would go to if you need something done, but they're not the big boss. Status 3 is leaders of the faction. So they would be the head of the werewolf pack or the head of the HOA Wizard Society kind of thing. Um, the circle number that you have is your understanding of each different circle. Like the hunter, which is Mortalis, obviously they know other mortal people. They know how Mortalis functions and all that. But they might know nothing about night for whatever reason. So all the people who transform and they have their stereotypical views, but they don't know truly what it means to be a wolf or some such thing. So those are the different things, and of course the stats is what we roll with. Um, as you can see on the layout, we have blood, heart, mind, and spirit. The numbers that are there are the ones that are defaulted for each playbook. You do get to add one +1 to any of those stats that you prefer. Blood obviously correlates to physical abilities. That's when you do damage and everything, or take damage. Heart is how you persuade other people. That's your charisma, your charm, and your understanding. Mind is the strategy. Like, how well do you think you can parse the information that's going on? Find out how to get the best deal, like, and everything. And the spirit is how you react to basically all the supernatural. Like, can you keep your calm? Can you withstand being surrounded by vengeful ghosts and not just pass out, kind of thing? And it also is how you control your abilities, because let it out, which is the way you can do some of your, almost, even if you're mundane or mortalis, you do have some external abilities that help you, like, survive in the supernatural world. So Feel free to put your +1 in any of those 4 stats that you think the way your character is being built will work. There's technically no wrong answers with that one. And then the same thing with circle ratings. So let me look at the. So just to because it's the first one in the tab for the hunter, um, the circle ratings by default are 1, 1, 0, -1. So that's where you would put that +1 in. You don't use the check mark boxes below that. That is the indicated of your circle status, which does not change unless you do an advancement to get higher up in your ranking. So yeah, so I'm going to pick on you for the hunter. Where are you thinking of putting your +1 in?
In terms of blood, heart, mind, spirit, my +1 will be in blood.
Okay, and then for your circle?
Mortalis.
You have a very good understanding of what it's like to be human.
Oh yes, I protect the humans, whether they like it or not.
More often they don't.
For all you supernaturals.
Excellent.
Wow. Wow. I feel called out a little bit.
I know. I feel kind of not happy about, unnerved.
Unnerved, yeah. The next thing to do is to choose moves. So depending on your playbook, you'll have up to you should have at least 2 moves that you can choose of your playbook. I think only 1 or 2. I think Wizard is slightly different because they have spells and they have a ward to take care of. So they get special things. Hunter, for example, gets to choose 3 because they don't have a feature move. But I think the others do have feature moves, which are required, and such. So if you choose a move that changes your stats at any time, make sure you update your stats to that so that you know that you've taken, like, if you decide to add a +1 to blood, for example. Oh, so I see that Omar disappeared. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm here. There's a gnat flying around. I just don't want you to
Oh.
see me clapping around trying to kill it.
Yeah, no
I don't
worries.
understand why not. This is
I mean, I thought that's
Not-
just regular hunter mannerisms.
Right? You get the behind the scenes.
Yeah. Um, and then again, you'll have to reference the PDF for, like, there is a pick list for your gear. You get to choose like type of gear that you have, like if you have a weapon, if you have a car, if you have a nice swanky house, or if you live out of box. And there's also what we'll be doing very soon is answering everybody's intro questions. Which I will be doing, and I always allow when I'm asking these intro questions, anybody else can ask follow-up questions. The one thing to note when answering these intro questions, you do not have to be a born resident of San Francisco. You have to at least been here anywhere between 3 to 6 months to have established yourself a little bit in the city and to have an idea of how you all know each other. All of you could have known each other only maybe once before, and usually the debt question or the intro questions will have us linked to each other. So far for half hour, we're doing pretty good. Sorry, I am trying to be mindful of time and everything. So let me get those questions up. Is there any questions regarding choosing your moves or feature stuff things? Okay.
No, seems clear to
all
me.
good.
Yeah. JP, how are you doing?
I think I'm doing okay.
Let me check the imp out. So you chose measure your mark, and everybody can't not pick I'm a fucking demon. That's such a good move that always me as a person as a GM is like, why? So I love it. Good.
So for the So I'm trying to figure out if I want to pick night versus WoW. Like,
Mhm.
is there like a is it it's just like who I feel that my character would be better known or more comfortable
Right.
in that
So
sense.
so just so you know, like because you're an imp, you are wild.
Okay.
Basically wild is any creature that is not originally from Earth.
Okay.
Night tends to be people who have been forcibly transformed. So those are ghosts, zombies, werewolves, vampires. Um, Power are people, generally humans, but they don't have to be, who obtain power unnaturally, either by learning spell books or something. They don't tend to have it naturally to them. And then Mortalis, um, since we don't use anything Harry Potter anymore, Mortalis is the difference between someone who knows and someone who's mundane. Like a mundane person would never believe that wizards exist, that fae exist. They might have like they still might like pray to the spirits or whatever, but it's just more of a thing. Whereas Mortalis people are they have one foot in the door. They're the abuelita who's like, no, you have a spirit hanging on you, listen to me kind of like thing, but they don't have the ability to do much more than that, which is why Mortalis is the aware is the closest one of being like, holy shit, where am I, why do I see dead people kind of thing. um so those are how the different circles work. So yeah, in theory the imp Scratch would want to side with the other wilds, but you are also technically free from your original demon patron, so maybe you want to be as far away from them as possible. It's up to you on how you feel Scratch is now that they are technically more free than they were before.
Okay. I mean, I feel like she would still uh be wild. But you know what? That can always change later. Once I
Yeah. Yeah, because pitting the imp thing of pitting that's new to me because that wasn't there last year with the imp moves. So I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. Okay. Um. So yeah, and I think almost I know the imp does. There's a wizard. Does anybody, just so I have it in my head, have starting moves? I know imp does with the steam. I just want to double check.
Mhm.
'Cause I tend to forget. You have
Yeah,
starting moves.
yeah, business as usual.
Okay. I just want to make sure we don't skip over that.
You
Um,
said, sorry, starting moves or?
Yeah, so there'll be usually it's a feature move that says something like when time passes or the beginning of session,
Oh,
something
okay.
happens.
I don't think that I have that as a wizard. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry, I was just making sure that I wasn't missing something.
yeah, no worries. I know werewolf has it. I don't think vamp has it.
I have when I hunger.
Yeah,
So that's just like my eternal hunger is like my required move.
yeah. So basically, I can hit that at you at any time I want.
Yeah, for sure.
Essentially. Yeah. Okay, so I just again, I'm going in the list that is in the PDF. So with the intro questions, um, I am going to start with our hunter Jesus Pena. Let me get your name in my notes. And then for everybody, even though I know JP has learned a lot about San Francisco, at least old San Francisco, if you have any questions about the city, I will happily provide you with information. So just let me know, like, oh, something like this, and then I can tell you where it is. So the main thing that isn't common to other cities, I believe I did mention last year, is that San Francisco only has two official cemeteries. One is the military cemetery in the Presidio, and then the Native American cemetery that's behind Mission Dolores. That's been there. Doesn't mean that there aren't other cemeteries elsewhere. We've had earthquakes and fires, but those are the two main official ones. All peoples that die go to south of San Francisco, called a city called Coma, officially called City of the Dead. That's where all the cemeteries are, and that's where we send pretty much all of our dead people. So just keep that in mind when you want to think about spooky, scary stuff. Um, Cemeteries wouldn't be something you'd see normally within San Francisco. Doesn't mean there aren't dead, buried people everywhere. um, so with that, again, I pick on the hunter. You have your questions. So,
Hmm.
what personal tragedy, Jesus, led you to hunt?
Well, when I was young, I saw my family murdered before my eyes, corrupted by some demon. It was a demon with ram-like horns and a skeletal face, and I hunted to this day. I don't know why it killed my family, but I do know they were in search of something that they had. A relic or some sort of effigy, I'm not sure. But I will kill that demon and all other demons who walk in my way and ever wish to harm any mortals. Stay in their own side of the tracks.
I think we have therapists for that now. How long have you been in this city, Jesus? How did you track him here?
I've only been here for about a couple weeks now. I travel from place to place. Originally from the Dominican Republic. Flew all the way to Florida, made my way up the coast, all the way until I found myself in San Francisco. Here, I think this demon lies. I use all sorts of technologies and my wits that I found along the way. Special magic and rituals that I dove myself into to enhance my abilities so I can make it a fair fight.
I guess it does help that San Francisco is a tech city. You found some new shinies?
Oh, yeah. Found lots of toys, weaponry, arsenals. I'm armed up to the T. I got shotguns, pistols, crossbows, holy water, you name it. Anything to crush those that don't belong on this plane.
What impressive kill have you been infamous for? Like what reputation precedes you when you came into the city?
Nostramus, an ancient demon who has ties to the one that I seek, the Forgotten. I was able to slay him, and his very skull I wear to strike fear into the eyes of my enemies.
I love it. Yes. I love it so much. Um what do those who you hunt call you behind your back? Something that JP's character might call you.
Hmm. I don't know. I would probably say, like something like they don't accept me as something supernatural. Those who fear me think I'm a mockery, as I wear the flesh and the bones of those that I slay. What is something that would go good for that name?
I was thinking sad boy because I'm calling you sad boy.
The Sad Slayer.
Sad Slayer.
I love it. Yeah, Sad Slayer. We'll go with that for now. If we come up with something juicier. Um Excellent. Of course you never hear it because you're already on to your next kill.
I'm broody, I'm moody and calculating. I may seem sad to others, but I'm mad. Really angry and ready to kill.
And lastly, of the main questions, Who inflicted the wound that still haunts you?
Ah, that's the Forgotten. Its true name I haven't found yet, but it's a demon. Demon with 4 horns that spiral up, red face and glowing yellow eyes. It bears a mark of what seems to be a claw burned in the middle of his chest. And I'll find the Forgotten One and make sure he remembers my name.
Excellent. During your weeks here in San Francisco, has there been anything that reminds you of the Dominican Republic or of your family?
San Francisco does have a strong Latin community, and when I look around and I see all the decorations and the families, it reminds me of when I spend time with them. It haunts me every day to see the happiness, but at least humans get to be happy, and I'll make sure that I protect that happiness from all those things that bump in the night.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody else have questions for our sad Slayer?
Have you ever met a demon that you felt wasn't that didn't you felt you didn't that they didn't deserve to be killed or hunted?
In the end, all demons need to go back from where they came from, but I can find answers and tips and tricks, and they have their worth. As long as they don't get on my bad side, they can remain here for now.
What is Mr. Pena's secret, like, dirty little secret about the supernatural? Like, what does he secretly, like, love about, like, the non-mundane? Or is that too prying?
What keeps you coming back for more?
Yeah. That's a better way of saying it.
My thirst for vengeance. I want to put a stop to them, but I love the kill. I love watching the demons squiggle in my hands as I rip their heart out. As I put on their skulls as a mockery of what they once were. Yeah, I enjoy that. So what?
So base.
You're kind
I-
of intense.
Just a bit. Is it bad to have a hate relationship with a certain other player character here? We'll see.
We will find out.
We will
Right,
find out.
we'll find out.
Do I have... Let me double check and look at your thing. Oh, tell us about your weapons, your specialized ones.
Right. So, I have a bow and arrow, well, a crossbow that's filled with holy water to take out demons, vampires, and all those creatures. I have 2 double-barrel shotguns loaded with special runes to stop all those fey creatures and other things that like to sneak in. I have a sword doused in the blood of angels, and I use that to strike against all my foes, burning their souls and sending them back to the hell that they rose from.
Did you douse it with the blood of angels you slain, or did you find this weapon like that?
It was found this way. I found it after a trial that I was put through. I'm a messenger from the heavens, and I'm here to enact divine retribution.
Excellent. If anybody else doesn't have any more questions, we'll move on down the list to the wizard.
That's me.
Give me one. Are you gonna do the same voice?
No, 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 no.
Please,
Okay.
oh, damn it!
No,
I
no,
was
no.
really hopeful.
Dr. Claudio.
Dr. Claudio is a fae. He's been up in a fae today. Actually,
Doesn't mean Dr.
maybe.
Claudio won't show up.
Oh,
Because this
you're
is the
right.
same world.
He might be an acquaintance.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hold on one second. So not Dr. Claudio. Scrolling down, wizard. How did you learn to wield magic?
I learned how to wield magic from one of my mentors who actually provided me with a cursed tome. And the cursed tome unlocked the arcana and the secrets of magic to me, but also opened me to a whole new world.
Were you happy about it?
Yes. I have been I'm an older, as I stated earlier, Gabriel Walnut is an older, distinguished, ominous gentleman. So I have been a wizard now for 50 plus years. And I was exposed as a teen when I was very young. And it has opened so many doors for me. So there have been times when I've been mad about it, but ultimately, yes, I'm happy.
How long have you been in the city?
I have traveled the globe quite often, and I have had time in San Francisco in the past, but I've only been here for about coming up to 2 years. My faction leader had called me back for an important task that I've been handling for the last 2 years or so.
Did you finish that task?
No, I did not finish that task. It is an ongoing charge. So
We'll get to
my
that in a minute.
yeah.
uh, do
It
you
was
happen to
full-
have a name for your faction leader?
My faction leader, I did not pick out a name yet for my faction leader. Let's say, what would be a cool wizard faction leader's name? I feel like
Harry
Mark.
Dresden?
Sure. That might be his nickname. I don't know if we want to make that canon. Is that?
No, that would definitely be from the Dresden Files, not.
Oh, yeah.
Alistair or
I feel like Marcus with like a, K-U-S, like
Ooh, spicy.
like
Marcus with a K.
you know what I mean?
Is that
Marcus.
how he introduces himself?
No. No, that's just me, Travis, being silly. We'll say like Marcus Abalone.
Do you like Marcus?
Let me ask a clarifying question. Is Marcus, are you asking me if Marcus is like my direct above me, or is he's like several above me? He's like the faction leader.
Well, however you were asking,
We're thinking of him.
Yeah.
So I'll say, yeah, Marcus he might not be my like direct point of contact, but he's like within one or two ranks in the echelon. And I'll say he's hit or miss. He's shifty. So sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. It's like what side are we seeing today? He can be two-faced, and he can catch, he will always honor a promise. As a wizard will never break their contract generally. But you know, as we all know with the Fae, devil's in the details. So
Yeah.
how are you interacting with him determines how he is. So we'll say yes and no.
Yeah, makes sense. What mistake keeps you up at night?
My most recent uh, ritual in another country, I used substitute reagents in a pinch, and it caused a catastrophic results, causing the lives of many innocents to be lost. And I never want to hurt someone again, whether by accident or, well, that's not true. I will hurt people if I need to. I never want to accidentally hurt someone due to a mistake, such as like a reagent or not doing due diligence or double checking. Um,
Does your
and it,
ward know anything about that?
no,
Mm,
no.
interesting. What have you sacrificed for your power?
My chance at having a family. I know that I will have a chosen family and I will have friends, but I will never have a spouse. I will never have a child, um, of my lineage, myself. I might inherit someone or make, chosen family or adopt someone, but I will never have, a husband or a wife or both,
Mm.
and a family.
Is that because you're afraid of them becoming victims, or you're just too in the job of being a wizard?
Both. Directly both. I love uh lo- as I stated earlier, I love being a wizard, and coming into magic has always been a dream and a desire, but it's time consuming and tedious and scary, and there's chances of evil people and corruption, and I can risk myself, but I can't consciously risk other people like that.
Yeah. Um, and what current conflict are you trying to mediate?
Right now, I am trying to. What conflict? My ward is trying to spend more and more time in public, and trying to become more, not exactly famous, but live quote unquote a normal life. And it's unsafe for them to be doing this. And it is sort of like fighting with like a teenager and battling a kid to, it's for your own good, and they don't believe you when it really is. And that struggle of social parental child social relationship is new. Like I've never done that. Like I have had to take charge of scribes and apprentices and do other things, but I've never had to like have a ward under my direct control that like needs me.
Yeah. Speaking of your ward, how did you come to have a ward?
Um my my ward was actually linked with me during that catastrophic event that happened.
Ah,
So she was one of the souls I could save because I was so unprepared. I could only link myself and anchor one person. And she was the hand that reached out to mine when I reached into the stream of souls. And I was able to spiritually link with her. And then my faction found out about this and compelled me to foster this relationship until it was time for the next phase of that relationship.
Okay. So does she have obviously she doesn't know that you're the catalyst for it, but does she have the memory of that event? Or is it more of like, I don't really know how I died, but I'm dead?
I will say it's more hazy memories. They don't
Hazy
really
memory.
know.
Okay.
They don't know what happened or why, and they sort of understand a little bit of who they were, and
Mhm.
but they don't really understand to have full memories. It's lots of blank spaces.
Yeah, makes sense. Um Besides the obviously like them acting up as teenagers, do they generally like you?
I would say yes. I think that they understand that I'm a stern but caring and can also have fun and do cool stuff, like, cool kind of stepdad vibes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I have moments of joy with them. And we have done some like really cool things together.
Excellent. Yeah. Does anybody have questions for a Wizward?
Yes. Have you publicly like do you show off your magic publicly, or have you done anything to harm any mundane mortalis with your magic that would be known to Slayer?
Uh, I would say no. I'm known more for my ritual work and my like academic circle and in the power circles. I'm known for my ritual work, which this incident and catastrophe maybe has not fully circulated yet, so it's unknown. But generally, I'm known as a like I would say a moderate, well-known wizard who cares and helps others. I have a hard time turning away someone who needs help and genuine pleas, even mortals. So I have actually used my magic to deflect or redirect attacks against people, whether they're human or non-mundane. Um, from things that I personally perceived as wrong. But again, that's subjective to my perspective.
Gotcha.
So it's possible he's on the radar, but
Mm-hmm.
cringe.
So, with your level of spell work, do you think you would have eventually attracted someone of the night circle? Someone who might be a vampire, let's say?
Perhaps. So, um, I would say that I have a really cool sanctum that I actually got from my faction, but it was cursed by its previous owner, and it contains some secrets that are even unfamiliar to me. And maybe it was actually a vampire's sanctum that was wizardified.
Ooh.
So, would you say you have a lot of different connections to get these materials for your rituals?
I have um I wouldn't say that I'm like a professional like dealer, but I would say I have some ways of finding things. I have some spells and abilities that help me search and get to people. And I also have an extremely knowledgeable assistant in my sanctum that just sort of knows things that really helps me um figure stuff out. And plus, tricksy wizards, we have spells and incantations for everything. So if I don't have it, I'll find someone who does.
What's the name of your knowledgeable assistant, and do they like you?
My extremely knowledgeable assistant is. Ooh, I'll take a little bit of help, but I kind of want them to hate me.
Okay.
I want them, yeah, help me with a name. I want them to be like they're bound to the sanctum, but I'm 100% the rightful owner contractually magically of this. So they hate me but have to oblige my requests and
How
needs.
would you like it to be a cat, a magical cat?
Ooh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you have
Are
any.
you trying to set up some stuff?
Cat, what's
Ooh,
your sister's name again?
Huh?
What's your sister's name again?
Oh, from the other game,
Mhm.
Scheme.
Scheme. Do you think Schemed might have accidentally schemed themselves into a contract?
Scheme.
This is why I shouldn't tell you stuff before.
this is the best. This is the best.
It doesn't. You can say no, but it might be someone
No, I
Scratch would
think it'll
know.
be interesting because yeah, I love a good mess. So yeah, um, I feel like yeah, Scheme would probably hadn't gotten herself in trouble somehow, and she's kind of like the opposite of Scratch.
Yeah,
So
I think it's like Scheme had it planned. The vampire was going to die. They were gonna get everything of the vampires, and they were gonna go back doing what they were doing, and everything. And then the loophole that wizards love to do happened and catches them in this, so that they're now technically stuck to this wizard.
oh, I can't wait to laugh in their face.
Yeah. I don't think you do know that they're a cat demon. You just think they're a cat talking cat.
Like a yeah, like a someone cursed them, something happened, but this is a
Yeah.
cat spirit bound to this location that has to answer my questions.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, and their name is Scheme.
Yes.
Okay, love it.
Excellent. Thank you. Why is it that you how do I put this? Why is it that you didn't know about this vault before?
I want to say that it is a rival wizard faction. So my leadership, Marcus Abalone, and whomever he reports to, um, there's not one faction of wizards in San Francisco, and it's another group, and they are willing to sort of for tonight's or for this event let bygones be bygones, and a deal down the line was said, let's try and be like we're all power, let's be power together, and so we're going to try and do a hard reset and see how that goes, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was one of their
Uh,
secrets.
Excellent. I think that is it. So next will be JP as the imp.
Yes.
How did you escape your servitude?
Hmm. Uh, Interesting question that you have there. Um, so sometimes demon clans have a clan leader and they adopt who they will want their right hands to be. I was one of those adopted, but unfortunately, the clan was very warrior based, and I am not a warrior. So I use a little bit of rumor and trickery to get their most hated enemy into a trap. And because the contract never says I had to beat the enemy in combat, I was able to get away.
Clearly, you know better than your sister how to work a contract.
Yeah, she was always she she was more favored because she was the more warrior one.
Mm, makes sense. How long have you been in the city?
About a good year now, just seeing how I can grow my business.
What is your business?
Ah, I provide a service where if you're looking for certain artifacts and relics, I'm your girl or demon or whatever. I don't care as long as you have the gold and the money that I want.
Excellent. You're not looking for more social media followers?
Not right now. It's very passe now.
Of course. With Twitter becoming X and everything, nobody wants to be on there
Yeah, yeah.
anymore.
Not looking too good.
Yeah. Excellent. Whom do you call family in the city then? Since you've been here quite a bit.
Well, okay, so I don't know my sister is here.
Yeah.
Uh
Could be
okay.
other it could be other imps or other demons.
I would say interesting enough, I'm gonna say uh there might be a Fae who I got close with. Um and uh because at first it was they had asked me to look for an item for them.
Mm.
Um and they gave me advance. They paid me everything up front, and I was like, "Oh, I like you." And it just, we go out, hang out, and they buy all the drinks and the food.
Nice. Um, I'll give you a chance to figure out a name for them. Uh,
Uh, what's a good name? Uh, mm, Anybody else got ideas?
good
Hmm.
Fae names. I doubt it's the good doctor.
I mean, Donovan came to my head, but I don't want to use Donovan.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Is it a male fae, or is it could be female?
Um, I feel like they would be more
Fae.
like, yeah,
Like
like they,
androgynous.
yeah. So they kind of flip depending on, yeah, I think they're non-binary.
Okay.
What about fawn?
Fun.
Or
Okay.
Nyx.
Oh, I do like
On
Nyx
Nyx, maybe?
or Nyx Fawn. Fawn
Nyx Fawn. You said, and they're a Fae, right? You said
Yeah.
Nyx. Mm-hmm.
very Fae, like Nyx the Fawn or Nyx Fawn.
Okay. I like Nyx the Fawn. Thank you.
Excellent. Um, Obviously they're family, but are they the ones you turn to when you're in trouble, or is there someone else?
Um, they're one of the people that I turn to. But I also stumble onto having a bodyguard. You know, I figured I'm not one to get my hands dirty. Might as well have someone to do that stuff for me.
Excellent. Are they human? Are they a lycanthrope? Are they another demon?
Um, let's go with lycanthrope.
Okay. Awesome. Do you have a
What?
name for them? Oh, go ahead.
I I call him Punch.
Okay. You don't care about their actual name. They're just Punch.
No, I just call him Punch. I'm just like it's like I think their name starts with a P, but all I heard was Punch, so that's what I call him.
Excellent. Did anybody have questions for our lovely little cat demon?
What are this demons? What's your feel on the mortals, and how have you interacted with them?
Mortals are great. They always want stuff that they shouldn't have and always yearning for stuff. It's so easy to make deals. It's great. I love mortals.
So you would say you've cursed mortals who've probably made bad deals or broke deals?
Mm, I think mortals curse themselves. I mean, you're always chasing for something that maybe you shouldn't chase. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you make a bad deal, or if you're trying to get something that doesn't belong to you, you're pretty much cursing yourself.
Interesting.
Do you have anything specific that you're trying to get out of this vault?
Um, so there was a request for this mysterious relic. And sources tell me that it's in that vault.
Did you use the murder app?
Maybe.
So, fun fact, AP, I stole Inda's idea of the murder app and have been using it exclusively for all the Urban Shadows games because it was just too good of an idea. So, for those uninitiated, the murder app is a supernatural app that can be downloaded on any phone, but only someone who is of Mortalis or of other circles can see it. Other people just see like maybe a dead app or something. And it's a bounty app essentially. Not just for killings, it could be for anything supernatural, where you can gain credit and debt through and other things. Um, so Murder app is available to all. There might even be a long-standing bounty of this forgotten on there, and there might be someone who has been looking for a certain other cat demon, wondering where they've disappeared to, that they've owed things. And there might be a couple of comments from, and JP's the only one that's going to get this, comments from Cat the First saying, "Oh, I know a guy," but doesn't ever provide actual information, and has been banned a couple of times, but yet somehow keeps finding their way back on the app.
I
Um,
mean, it's a door.
it's a door, yeah.
I want to know, what item have you tried to procure but know better not to, as a dealer? As a dealer.
So anything around more higher rank um demons or anybody who's higher rank, if you're asking me to steal something that they already own. So for instance, there was this supposedly magical ring that was owned by this one of the old world demons. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole because who knows who they're going to have come after me. So I always decline those.
Smart.
Smart. Smart.
Exactly. Um, who have you scammed that still holds a grudge?
So, I mean, scam is a strong word. They made a bad deal. Um, there was this human, and he wanted me to find some long lost love potion. It's like this particular potion to make the the spell stick so it can't be undone. And I mean, he really didn't have the funds to afford the actual real thing. So I just gave him one that works for the amount of money that he gave, which wasn't very long. And I
Right.
think his name was like Billy. I don't know, some very just
Yeah.
regular
He,
guy. I mean,
he should have known better. He should have had the money.
exactly.
You do
Awesome.
get what you pay for.
True.
Exactly.
Very true. I mean, he paid for a good month and then she bopped him when she got out the spell. Well, I don't know what happened, but I do know I already got paid. So,
Let's just hope he doesn't come back for you. That's all. Or contract, a lie on the murder app and get a certain vengeful hunter after you, possibly.
I have one more
mm,
question
Coming for you.
actually.
Yeah.
Since you seem so much of the deals and you have to sort of stay low, do you actually like partaking in any rituals and dealings with the people whom you trade or sell these objects to? And do you have any interesting events that you might have or people you have worked with? Or do you always like
um,
stay, you know?
I I do. Not only do I trade in relics and items, I do also trade in news and gossip. And so I try to make sure I'm outside of the actual rituals and contracts. I want to be the one creating the contract, not the one getting into contracts.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see if that mindset changes. Um,
Ooh, baby.
I mean, a cat demon got to do what they got
exactly.
to do.
And last but not least, the vampiro. As I
Oh, that's
scroll
me.
to get your questions. Yes. Vamp, vamp, vamp. When did you become a vampiro?
I was created in the winter of 1601.
Ooh, that is a long time. Was it a voluntary creation?
I cannot say that it was, unfortunately, but time must keep going.
Is your, I forget the term, progenitor still around?
Oh, yes, my lord is actually in town.
Ooh, what is their name?
James Marsters.
Everybody's
I
freaking
can't
out.
believe you did that. This was a joke from our game, our home game. I could not say James Marster. I kept saying anything else.
And
You still
ever
did.
and
I mean, does your lord look like James Mercer?
oh,
'Cause-
it is James Marsters.
okay.
Yes,
How
it
did
is.
you feel about him playing himself in a very long loved TV show?
I mean, throughout the years, at times we've learned that sometimes to blend in, you just have to be yourself.
Mm, excellent. Um,
It also didn't help getting all of that adoration from fans. We emotional vampires thrive on such things.
oh yeah. Do you after I mean, it's been hundreds of years. I assume by now you are devoted to him?
Yes, so much so that when he lost his haven through some contract, I made sure that uh, the spare bedroom in my apartment was available. And so we've been
Does he
living
actually
together.
use the spare bedroom?
He comes and goes. It's a lot of business for James.
That's not what I meant, but okay. He comes and goes, I see.
As he pleases.
I have too many tabs open. Why am I like this? Um, I realized I did not have your vampire name, but now I do. Excellent. Next question. How long have you been in San Francisco?
I first made my gold claim in 1892 and just really enjoyed the energy that the city brings.
Are you friends with Carl the Demon then?
No.
Fog Demon, sorry. Gotta be specific.
Oh, yes. I had to remember
Yeah.
really quick. I was like, "Oh, yes. That fog demon, yes."
Excellent. Carl prefers the non-blood vampires anyways. They're more fun. Keeps the city active. Um, how do you keep your cravings in check?
I keep my cravings in check by consuming vast quantities of wine when at all possible. So much so that I even happen to carry this flask around. And I pull out this handy little sleek black leather flask. Uh, Sometimes I put a little bit of a mixture of wine and cognac, but usually it's just wine.
When when you have to feed, what is your how do you feed the emotions and what is your preferred emotion?
It thanks to how I've set myself up in the city, I sometimes have a buffet of sorts to choose from, but hope always puts me in the right spirits. And mourning lets me fall asleep at night. So if I can stir those emotions from, I don't know, people hanging around my haven, my harbor, I've made it very convenient to have a steady supply.
Speaking of your haven harbor, what is your haven? How do you get people into your web easily?
Well, after making a small claim in the mining boom, I decide to give back to the city that gave me so much. And at the time, it was just a small clinic uh, run by myself and a few assistants. But in recent years, St. Luke's has been extremely prosperous as a uh, religiously affiliated hospital.
Yeah, St. Luke's in the Mission, where I, the GM, was born in. That building, unfortunately, is no longer around. Pacific
Oh
Medical,
no!
yeah, this finally this past year destroyed it to build up a new one. But I like this version where St. Luke stays because it is obviously um, a landmark.
Yeah, definitely. Like that. Like I actually looked up. I'm like, what are like religious
Yeah,
hospitals in the area, and it like popped up. It was like the
yeah,
first
no,
one.
yeah. St. Luke's has been around forever and everything. But the main there's the chapel is still there and some of the older buildings in the back because it took up like two blocks, city blocks, sprawling.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the actual building that was the ER and that where I was born is they finally demolished it. But yes, yeah, St. Luke's Hospital with its church and everything. Do you ever go into the chapel?
I haven't in a long time. Typically, the emotions there are tainted. You can you take it in almost like you're having some wine actually.
That
Uh, and there's something off.
makes sense. You did technically answer the next question of how did you acquire your haven. You did well in the gold rush. You invested, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, is like one of the pictures of the founding fathers you just claim is your great 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 grandfather?
Yeah. I'm
Uncanny resemblance.
lately lately it is an uncanny resemblance.
Excellent. Um, what deal are you interested in right now?
I currently am invested in high risk experimental surgeries and medicines.
Ooh.
It, on the occasion, can be both beneficial to the hospital, the good people of the city, which I don't intentionally go out of my way to hurt or injure, but there are risks.
Yeah, there are always risks. Um, what is of interest to you with the Wizard Vault being open?
When I first came to this city, there was a reason, and that reason was that vault. I have never been able to even get an idea of a floor plan of what that place looks like. I've heard rumors throughout the decades, centuries, and no one ever tells the same story twice about it, if they know anything about it to begin with. But I have made contact with a demon, an imp, that may have a solid lead and might be able to get her sister out of an agreement.
Would make sense, you being the vampire and having a web with no details that no others would know.
I mean, my lord did own
That is true.
the, the house and may have some insights.
Yeah, excellent. Does anybody else have any questions for our vampire?
How well known, infamous are you? Like, would a passing slayer of vampires happen to know of you and what you are and maybe the things you have done?
Do they have European history degrees?
No, but they're very well researched.
A lot of people know my presence. I'm not that renowned intentionally. I do play off the fact that I am the heir of my great 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 grandfather. But those with a foot in the door, so they say, may know the truth.
Hmm, interesting. That'll be all, Your Honor.
Excellent. Um, Normally we would introduce everybody and then do debt things. But I think we did get an idea of everybody. So do want to go through the debts. My goal is even with the three shot. I don't think we need to do all three debts because we also have relationships in the hubs to do. So, but I want at least one debt with everybody, and then possibly maybe a second one. And if the second one, if you prefer an NPC, that'd be fine. So we're gonna go backwards in the list. So we'll go with our vampire. You
Okay.
have um, the debts that you have to offer to someone else is someone makes you get fed regularly without attracting too much attention. You owe them two debts. Someone relies on you for their fix. Ask them what you provide that keeps them sane. They owe you a debt and they get added to your web. Or someone recently sold you out to one of your enemies. You avoided the worst of the attacks, but your betrayer owes you a debt and you add them to your web. Any of those you're more interested in asking someone else for?
Um, I think I have it printed out here. Let me just like triple check.
Yeah, it's in the little character creation sidebar.
Awesome. With the nature of the hospital that I run,
Mhm.
um, someone relies on me for their fix.
Okay. Does anybody want to volunteer?
Oh, so like what kind? What do you mean by fix again? Like you have access to drugs?
It doesn't have to be drugs necessarily. It could be anything that. Sorry, I got a message. Um, Anything that he might be able to provide as like an addiction that you might have. So yeah,
Yeah,
he technically is in a hospital, so it could be drugs. It could be.
it could just be the soothing emotion of uh, letting go that I can provide when I feed.
I feel like
Well, that's two
I
different. Those are different debts. Which one are you? Right? Sorry, or
Yeah,
am I
sorry.
confusing?
Technically, yeah. Technically, there's one that's fed. That could be because
I'm
he already. Yeah.
That was just more of like an example of like something that isn't necessarily a drug, but is like a release of
Yeah.
some sort that you need to have in your life.
okay.
mm,
Um,
It would be
I
a
would
bonus for the vampire to feed off, but it's not a
yeah,
necessity.
Okay.
correct.
Jesus, do you have a particular
yeah, I would
one you
say
want to?
if you're fine with going still with like the drug uh way because I'm a human and you know if I get hit it's not like I can go boop and pop back up like anyone, so I need painkillers and all those type of things. So I have a slight addiction, and although I don't like you because you are a vampire, I tolerate you because you and don't slay you because you give me what I need because this city is hard. It's harsh. Lots of supernaturals here, and I need to be on my A game.
All right, yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, I've justified to you numerous times now since coming to this city that I feed on emotion and not physical harm. But it's a debt I could collect at some point.
Mhm.
Yeah. Excellent. Both of you mark that on your sheets as appropriate. Did you have a question, Gabriel?
I was gonna say, for the other one, I think fits really well with me. The one where it says, "Someone make sure that you get fed regularly without attaching attention." And I could say maybe you come over and feed on me, and you owe me debts for me, and maybe feeding on me and my ward because she's kind of happy. She's kind of excited for life, so to speak.
And yeah, how often do you get to feed off of a spirit? That must be like most vintage of wines.
Friendly spirits are something special. Um, my harbor does have ghostly entities, which range from mildly annoying to deeply dangerous. So, encountering a happy, positive energy is like a
Breath of fresh
cool,
air.
cool mead on a spring night.
Mm.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. I do want to. So just heads up, we'll do all the debts and then we'll go to like a 10-minute break and then do have relationships, do a bit of intro with all of us, and then we'll be able to have some time, in theory, to actually role play and maybe see that mask again.
Fair.
So, going backwards in the sheet, JP. So your debt option. Let me scroll back over here. Your three options are someone is a consistent patron or customer of your establishment, regularly relying on you for your services or assistance. They'll owe you two debts. Or you offered someone work when no one else would give them the time of day. Ask them if it worked out in your favor. They owe you a debt either way. Or you partner with someone on your schemes, both of you profiting in equal measure. You each owe each other two debts.
I think the one that would be interesting is you partner with someone on your schemes and we both profit.
I think someone has their hand up.
That sounds like me. I love that.
Excellent. What was you don't have to go into too much detail, but what kind of scheme do you think it was?
Oh, well, I mean,
um, Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I love the like relic aspect that you brought up, your like relic trade. So I feel like we are sort of, collectors of fine things that we find, and sometimes it pulls us into deeper schemes.
Yeah. And like considering the other part of my job is like getting news and rumors. Probably if there's a certain relic that you want in particular, I put out rumors that it's somewhere else and you get first dibs at
Oh, I love that.
it.
Oh man, I really wish I had the scholar available. The scholar is also very much like the wizard in the sense of like finding. It's literally made to have relics and have a bag of tricks and everything. Um, Next time. Excellent. So you each owe each other two debts. Um, we'll come back around for your second one in a bit. Wizward, you
Uh,
have you have an idea?
I do. I was reading through mine before, and I feel like I have a great way. So I have someone tempted my ward away from you into danger. Ask them what it cost your ward to return you, and they owe you a debt. I want to say that Mark got a little bit too comfortable with Celeste and tried to uh maybe have him come hang out so that way he can chat and feed off of her more often, and those other spirits and other people might have hurt her. How do you feel about that, Mark?
I would never. But um, if they hurt her, I
Well,
would Or what?
It says, ask them what it cost you, your ward to return you. They owe you a debt. So, what did it cost for you to return my ward back to me? Like, you sort of, am I, Diana, am
Like,
I understanding this right? Like, he sort of tempted her away,
Yeah.
and I was like, give her back, and you owe me for stealing her away.
Because the danger would
I
have been her surrounded by the ghost. It doesn't mean that the ghost actually hurt them, but there's
Correct.
always that chance.
Or something else. Maybe you had other plans with her.
I mean, to keep feeding, obviously, but I wouldn't destroy Celeste in doing so. She's quite happy. But what would it cost me to give her back to you? Or what would it cost you to get her back from me?
I'm actually ask them what it cost your ward to return to you. That's worded so weirdly. Can you
Yeah.
help me, Diana?
Yeah. So,
Like, am I kidnapping in this sense?
not necessarily. It's more like they don't want you successfully somehow convince Celeste to stay with you. Maybe you didn't mean that. So what would it cost Celeste? What do you think? Sorry, I started getting warm again. And I'm like, whew. What would it cost? Like asking you Zen, what would it cost Celeste for her to finally give up on you?
Oh, okay. She had to fully give up on her connection to other specters and other like people. Like, she was enticed by talking to you, and you had these other spirits and other things maybe that I don't have in my sanctum, and like she had to give up trying to connect with them fully. Does that make sense? Was that not it?
Yeah, like, I mean, I could have introduced to some of my other spirits at the hospital.
And like, yeah,
Yeah.
be like, they have to no longer, you guys can't be
And
friends.
and Celeste can like no longer like have ghost friends.
Yeah, be like, you can't be friends anymore.
That's so sad.
Like you need to like be since you need to make sure that you agree with this. Like, is that what you think would work, make sense, kind of thing?
Uh
Or if you want to, yeah.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Due to the ghostliness of. I mean, but I just want to make sure I have it correct with the debt owed versus debt to collect.
Mhm.
Because this feels more like a debt that Zendaric is having with an NPC, which is also fine, but not necessarily strictly with me.
It's yeah, it's a good question because it is worded oddly. So technically, the way it's worded in theory, Zeki, you would agree to it in owing the wizard the debt because you did successfully, either
Tempt
intentionally or unintentionally, tempt them away, and it's
Mhm.
something that happened in your area for her to finally go back.
Okay.
So if that's not interesting to you, you can
If
say
it-
no and figure something else
Yeah,
out.
I could figure if you don't like it, we could do something. I could pick the other one.
But that's the reason why you owe the debts, because you technically successfully did it. It's just the after effect is something happens
Oh,
to
I
Celeste.
felt bad about it, so that's why I owe him. That's fair.
Yeah.
I understand. And I can work with that. I can be comfortable working through that pain of maybe trying to grow a little bit.
My one question is just, so we'll like sort of simplify that and say like you tempted them away and all that. Did you do it purposefully or did you do it accidentally?
By nature, I'm very seductive, but I did not like
It was just
go out of
by
my
happenstance.
way.
It was okay. That's what I was saying. Like,
to-
did you go out of your way? You did not. It was completely happenstance. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that there were other spirits and that like find some community and some happiness, some more happiness,
And
because
she
that
just got
might
too
make you
attached.
taste better. But
Yeah.
She got
She,
too
she
attached
thought
and all.
she thought Mark was the cool guy and has the cool friends and was like, well, I want to go there instead of this grandfather figure.
Yeah. Um, and then I was gonna choose the when you go to trouble providing information. But I actually, because Scratch and I already have the we profit together, I'm gonna go with Jesus and say, um, or that's when I was saying. It says when someone is your go-to when you get in trouble, providing information or muscle to get things done, and I owe them 2 debts. So I think that I would be able to call Jesus as a human, as a power human. I might need another human's help occasionally. How does Jesus feel about that?
Since you don't do anything negative with the Mortalis, and you actually help people and break curses and do rituals, Jesus would help you as long as you help him return, which is why you owe me some debts.
Yeah, absolutely. So I owe you 2 debts for calling you in when I have some trouble and I need some muscle.
Mhm. And the debt must be repaid.
Always.
Excellent. All right, the hunter. Do you have an idea of who you want to throw debts at?
Yes. Oh, one. So I came up with what I want them to call me behind my back.
Ooh, yeah.
So I am a sparkless. I'm just I use other, like, I don't use my own magic or anything like that. I use tools, so they call me sparkless because I'm so normal and ordinary otherwise.
I call
But
you Sparkler.
Love it.
But who I would owe debts to? Let's see here. I want to. Where's that debt page?
Well, he's looking for that. Can I make one correction?
Sure.
I Travis, me, made this mistake, and I didn't realize Zeki's character's name was Mark when I was making my character's name, and I was like looking at names, so I don't want my leader's name to be Marcus because that's too close to
Oh,
his.
fair enough.
So
Yeah.
can I just change it to Gideon?
Yeah.
Gideon Abalone. So or Abalone, whatever.
Gideon with a G, right?
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Travis, I add the I to your master's mentor's last name to make it sound funnier.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Abalone.
Why am I not? Where are the debt questions?
On the PDF on the second page of your playbook in a like light purple column, like where the starting gear is below that. So
I'll ping him
yeah,
to you
so-
on Discord.
yeah. So someone helps you unwind and keeps you sane despite the horrors of your hunts. You owe them a debt. Your hunts incurred the wrath of a powerful person. Someone helped smooth things over. You owe them a debt. And then someone has enlisted you to protect them from something dangerous. They owe you a debt.
Okay. I feel like. I would like to see someone owes me a debt because I'm the one you can go to do something dangerous. I'm very reckless and want to go out there. So maybe it's sort of similar to Gabriel. And if that's too close to a Gabriel, I can go with something else. But maybe someone else may owe me a debt for being like a bodyguard, a hit person, or maybe you need to get in with the humans and you use me maybe behind my back in order. And then when I found out, you now owe me a debt or some kind.
I mean, add it to the list of debts that I owe. I think that would say we could say, yeah, for sure that there was maybe like an additional. I needed additional security ever since I became the steward of my ward, and so I've asked you. We had this sort of, touch and go relationship, and like I owed you some debts, and there was, we'd see each other occasionally, but as of late, I'm like, you need to protect me, my sanctum, my ward, and I owe you even more now. And I we have weekly touch points. We have, you know, you're on call on duty, and I owe you.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then since you need a second debt, and then I think JP needs a second debt, and then everybody has at least two debts. So what other
Mhm.
one looks interesting to you for your hunter debt?
I definitely want to owe a debt for, and I'm sorry, I'm just like not finding the deck questions. But what was that first one you had said?
Someone helps you unwind and keeps you sane despite the horrors of your hunts. You owe them a debt.
You know, although she's a demon, something about JP's positive attitude or like that kind of like which I mean maybe not all demons are bad. I feel like maybe if I can change one demon to not be like evil and trick humans, then maybe there might be some sort of redeeming qualities in demons. So that's this the only reason why I just don't go full postal and all the supernatural is because of JP's personality, or not JP, sorry,
Scratch.
Scratch's personality. So
My ship still has a possibility. Yay!
I mean, Scratch is a vibe. So
Yep.
um she's just happy to be here. Uh instead of like
In
in
hell.
the alternate world with, you
Yeah.
know, under a demon queen. So yeah,
And
yeah.
who wants to be under a demon queen?
Yeah,
perfect.
I feel like I get a kick out of like a hunter hanging out with me, and I'm just like,
Exactly.
I was like,
Uh,
shot, shot, shot.
You help me
Excellent.
unwind. Yep. I mean, and one of my things here was where does my society gather, and I put a dive bar or gambling den. We totally go dive barring together.
Oh yeah, there's so many dive bars you can go to in the city.
Have I seen you two together because I've been giving you drugs at such places?
Possibly. Yeah.
Probably.
Hmm.
And Scratch, would we have any kind of
um,
relationship going on here with that or debt?
There, we do have the hub relationship, so that would be where I would suggest making a focus of where you two might meet. Like maybe you two go to the Goblin Market or something.
yeah, because
The
I
underground.
think the other two that I have is like someone who I offered work to, and
And
then another
That's
person who's a consistent
patron.
customer,
okay.
patron.
I like what you're doing. I could be your patron if you want to owe me a debt.
Sure.
I could bankroll you a little bit.
I like when people give me money, so
Excellent. So let me double check my notes here. Yep, everyone has at least two debts. We'll go over the harbor stuff, or not harbor, the hub stuff, where you might be able to make a couple of extra relationships. Technically, everybody's supposed to do it, but I found that we have enough connections in the debts. Maybe only one or two needs to do the relationship option, just so that we're all a little bit more friendly with each other, and you still get an NPC that gets to owe you debt. But I think a 10-minute break would be excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're muted.
You muted, Trav.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. So with that, everyone, thanks so much. We will be back. We're going to take a short break. Take a chance to stretch your legs. Go grab some water, and we'll be back in a moment. See you soon, everyone. And welcome back, everybody. We are have returned. And just a quick reminder, we're a Tale of D20s. We are playing Urban Shadows today. We're sponsored by Magpie Madness. Please, in the chat, type Magpie Madness, no other words, wants to be entered in a chance to win some merch. We have some books to give away. We'll be giving out some copies each week. And yeah, we're glad to be here. So I'll pass it back over to our wonderful game master, Diana.
Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you all for being here for our character introductions, our character creations. I'm very happy to be running the finalized 2.0 edition of Urban Shadows, which will be coming out soon. I cannot give you anything more than soon. We want it as badly as everybody else does. We've gone through a lot of like the character introductions. We've done deaths. The last thing that is needs to be done before we can actually start playing is because cities are big and not everybody lives or experiences cities. Second edition offers hubs, which are sections of the city to centralize your characters into play. Doesn't mean that they live there. It's just it's a usual haunt. It's a good way to present um, something not as daunting as a big city. Now, San Francisco obviously isn't as huge as like something like New York or Los Angeles, but it's still pretty big for like for the small little peninsula that it's on. There's tons of things. I for sheer lack of not getting it done in time. And thinking about it very hard, even though I was provided with the other hubs, we are doing the downtown hub, um, so if everybody in chat, or not in chat, in the game goes to that tab, as I also go to Hub Downtown. Downtown only reveals its true nature at sunset, the moment at which business as usual comes to a halt and the affairs of night can be truly addressed. It doesn't matter if you lived here your whole life or wandered in last week. The hustle and bustle of downtown guarantees you'll find nearly anything you seek. That is, if the dangers of the back alleys and deep shadows don't find you first. Another benefit of having a hub is you get 2 extra moves that anybody can use while you are in downtown. We have Up for Grabs and Bar Buddies. Up for Grabs is another way to get stuff you need, evidence and such, but instead of being smart about it, you're being physical about it. So you would use blood. Bar Buddies is you are hobnobbing with some of the wealthy, with some of the political. You roll with heart to see if you've impressed them enough to get a favor from them, a debt, or maybe you're going to owe them for, you embarrassing them in front of their political campaign. Shrug. The other benefit of this also is that each hub comes with a bunch of NPCs from all 4 circles that players don't have to then make up, like I was forcing them to make up names and people for it. So everybody gets to choose a resident from this list, and I will name them all. Technically, in my persistent San Francisco world, um, one of these characters is actually dead, but with what happened last year at Dia de los Muertos, maybe some things got a little bit reset when those characters came back and such. So, I keep clicking on the wrong tab. So these NPCs are vital members of the city hub. Anyone who sees or hears them can hears a name mentioned in a play can put a name to a face, which is one of our basic moves, to determine what kind of relationship they've had with the anchor in the past. So at the start of play, you all get to highlight one. We have Maya Lopez, an oracle working downtown market with a knack for foretelling your enemy's path to ruin. We have Mrs. Lane, a wizard and owner of an exclusive 5-star hotel who lives for gossip, who tends to have very supernatural men come in and out of their hotel, in their VIP room. Just FYI. Dinesh Chopra, a hunter who keeps his block of boutiques a vamp free zone by any means necessary. And we have Cyril Caius, a famous paranormal investigator who gives out free advice from the comfort of his apartment bus stop. And then there's Tan, who doesn't seem to remember the last few years of his life, but he's back. He is a flesh-eating vampire with a particular appetite for wandering tourists that struggles to keep in check. He might be a little wary of specters, though, for some unknown reason. Then we have Guy Riddle, a boisterous ghost who works downtown as a haunted bar tour guide. Loves to trick people into many things, mortalis and otherwise. Then we have Blessing, a fae whose impassioned speeches on ecological crises can be heard outside the aquarium any time of the day. So there is an aquarium at Pier 39. It is not the Monterey Bay Aquarium because that's further down south, but we do have our own. Um, and is always there, is is always talking to some spirits that a lot of people don't normally get to see around. And then last but not least, Akiko Tanaka, tainted with an impressive history of collecting demonic contracts among local entrepreneurs. You can usually see them at any of the high like class indie type coffee spots, always with a cup of coffee or a special shot in their hand. That's probably the best way you can get them on your good side. And they're always striking out the new coffee craze that's going on. You'll never, ever catch them in a Starbucks. Ever. And those are your residents. Who wants to claim one to give them a debt?
I know exactly who I think owes me a debt. Um, because I feel like I'm trying to get into this circle because I'm trying to expand my business. So I think Mrs. Lane
Mm.
owes me a debt because maybe one of her gentleman visitors wasn't who he said he was, and I warned her about it, and she was able to uh not suffer any consequences because of it.
Yeah, seems perfect. You can now add her to your debt list.
I would like to take G Riddle, the
Hmm.
ghost, the boisterous ghost. I'm gonna say that as a ghost, they can obviously haunt the bars and provide some entertainment, but they can cause a little bit more mischief with a wizard's ritual. And occasionally they come to me for help for momentary or not momentary for becoming corporeal, and basically I give them like a blessing or cast a ritual on them that allows them to say move objects or touch people or do a little bit more than they're normally able to for a short period of time. So I like play into their antics and help sort of boost them up a little bit and use my
Yeah,
get to practice some of my craft at the same time.
yeah, that works. Guy doesn't like exploding because when you have too much trauma as a specter, you explode and disappear for a few days, and he doesn't like that feeling. He might as well just try to get his fun on, and we'll just owe you. Yeah, what can you do to him? You know.
I would like to get I forget the name you had said for the other hunter.
Yes, I think it is Dinesh Chopra.
Dinesh Trupla, yes. Um he you said it was
I had a feeling you would Jesus would be very good friends with Dinesh.
oh
He's
yes.
an older gentleman. He has a series of boutiques. His main boutique is like the equivalent of like one of those spy shops where it's just all security and it's just like pristine with like the baby monitors and like the hidden camera stuff. Is where he usually resides, but he does have a few other boutiques, and he keeps this place very clear. And there are definitely people think it's quirky, a weird Indian thing where he has special symbols that indicate like vampires. You come here, you're dead, like on site.
Boo.
Oh yes. He owes me a debt because maybe at some point vampires did try to infiltrate, and I came to his rescue, slaying all of them with a righteous fury. I donned the mask and took them apart, and from then on, he owes me a debt. He gets me weapons, information, things that I would need to hunt those things that go bump in the night.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was there's technically a growing bounty on him on the murder app, and some young buck vampires thought, oh well, it's a group of us, we could take this old man down.
Not when I'm around.
Exactly. Excellent. What about Mark?
I am very torn between having a bus stop buddy and a fiending flesh vampire who I could have a steady supply of recently deceased experimental patients.
Mm.
Um, I think it'll be more entertaining to have a fiending uh, flesh vampire who owes me because I can help them out with their uncontrollable desires by
Makes
providing an outlet, a channel, if you will.
sense. Yeah. Tan is very grateful. Um, you actually, is this more of a recent relationship, or have you had a relationship with him for quite some time?
Um, so doesn't normally like come into town, but when they are in town, they will always visit.
Okay. So you do know that he was missing for a little over a year, and yeah, like maybe the second to last time you came into town, um, he was back, and he was very confused.
All right. And
Just
can
a
you,
little bit of tidbit.
would you be able to spell that first name for me?
Yeah, it is on the sheet actually.
Oh shoot.
The hub.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep out clicking out of tab. Yeah, so there's a hub downtown tab in the character sheet. But yeah, it's TAAN.
Oh, perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no worries. Um, and then the last thing to do is to have relationship connections that aren't necessarily depth based. Um, Let me see. I should have done this during break, but let me just double check. So in theory, it would make sense for Scratch and Jesus to have a relationship together in one of these options here in the hub. Um,
Oh yes. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah.
Also with
How
Mark and Scratch, I think.
so Jesus, how would you feel about the one about you recently became an owner of this art legendary artifact? I don't think you know how legendary it is, but I peeped that it was, and I'm trying to get you to give it to me.
Oh, I love that. I deal with a lot of legendary artifacts, especially with whatever my family was doing with their history. Um, and I would say that I probably don't know exactly what power I have in my hand, so I am down for that.
Okay, I'm updating it with names.
What is this artifact?
Um, so I'm thinking that it looks like a ceremonial dagger,
Hmm.
but the hilt is made of the bone of a powerful old world demon.
Ooh, so like a dirk.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Sorry, I have a powerful demon. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure I heard, so I can add it to the notes.
So I feel
I
like it's a lot more potent than other type of magical artifacts. So
How are you hoping to convince him to part ways with it?
um I think I'm kind of using our very like casual relationship like as buddies, and I'm just like, like I can trade you for that. Like, one of my buyers is looking for a nice dagger that, that looks like that. So I'm trying to get them to like trade with me and just like, you have all these artifacts, and this is the one that I, think uh I can probably get some good items for you for. So
Hmm. Would you say this is the reason why you're so friendly with me and I'm being played, or?
I mean, I don't feel like in my head, I don't think I'm trying to play you, but it is a very good incentive to be like extra nice to you.
Hmm. Good to know. Well, my character doesn't know that, but good for me.
Right.
Okay.
Like her version of like friendship is totally different than what a human would think of. So
Hmm. Makes sense. I like it.
Okay. I'm trying to. I should have done the web. The web to ensure everybody. Does anybody else feel like they need extra incentive connection with another character?
Mm,
I feel connected, but I do like the you and blank go shopping at the fairy market. And I was gonna say me and Scratch go shopping at the fairy market every
yes.
Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
Go looking for deals. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Um, but I'll add the name. So the Fairy Market is in downtown. It is there's a section of like so there's our version of like Union Square, and then there's a couple very like extremely boutique, expensive like little alleyways of restaurants and um, shopping stores called Maiden Lane, and so back in the day, there were Shanghai underground tunnels and such, and a lot of San Francisco had waterways underneath that are no longer around. So the underground ferry market is literally underground. You have to find this little like in one of these small alleyways, like this little door that you go into, and it's um clean, but like think of like sewer tunnels, and it's all floating like boats underneath this ferry market.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So let me make my little note here
I love
of
that floating
scratch.
market, a literal
Mhm.
underground floating market.
Yep. Yeah, and I think if everybody feels comfortable with the debts and relationships and connections with people, I'm always just double checking names here. We can begin. We have enough time to do all this. So, let me just.
Do I need to get one with Mark, or is it fine with the just the?
How do you feel? Like, do you know Mark well enough? Do you think you have an idea? Does Mark? Do you feel comfortable with this cat demon?
I definitely feel comfortable with this cat demon. Uh, I feel like I can potentially be of some help, and I'm offering up my services to gain some favor with Scratch, so that way um, I can kind of lean on my lord and maybe find out some secrets on how to break that contract.
Mm, very nice. Yeah. Then I think we're good. So I believe the imp is the only one that has a begin of scene move, begin of session. So, business as usual. When time passes at the start of the game, Roll with mind, JP. On a hit, your usual operations provide an opportunity to advance one of your schemes or generate a new one, your choice. And we'll see from there.
Okay.
So nice to hear an
So
actual dice roll.
I love the sound.
Yeah.
So I got a 5 and then mine 2 7.
Okay. So, um, let me double check this. So yeah, do you want to advance this current scheme that is technically related to the Wizard Vault, or do you want to have a new scheme?
Um, I want to uh advance the vault scheme.
Okay. I am just double checking I didn't miss anything when I copied this over. Nope. Okay. So, so you do need to fill out in your schemes column the complication. So let me look at this. Oh, what were the two? Because I know we talked about it ahead of time. What are the two circles you're pitting against?
The two wait, can you repeat that?
The two circles. Um, you choose when you generate a scheme, choose a primary circle, and two. We had talked because you were asking about the difference before game,
Oh, okay.
so I didn't
Uh,
get which one you actually decided on.
I decided on the wow.
Okay. Meanwhile, let me. Um. You can decide two complications. Actually, no. Well, because you want to advance the scheme, you were able to clear before game one of the complications. So you need to decide one complication it is for the vault scheme.
Um, because I love a mess. And Scratch has a bit of a problem massaging the truth. She promised someone involved something that she doesn't have yet.
Nice. Okay. Um. So you're like, yeah, I know where it is in the vault. I got it. It's on the way.
Right.
Kind of feeling. Excellent. And let me just double check that everything for that. Yeah, so I would like for everybody to. You have not yet received the invitation. You have heard that like one of the wizard factions was opening up a vault. It was one of the oldest um, wizard factions of San Francisco. Um, they haven't done this in 100 years, at least 100 years, and the last time it didn't go so well, which is why it's taken so long for this vault to open again. I would like a little vignette of where everybody is at the moment, and you can feel free to pull in someone else, like you're bothering them, you're scratching that itch or something in your vignette, if you'd like. Um, I will pick on JP this time though. Where
It's
is
fine.
Scratch?
Okay, where I am. So are we like uh at our own place or on the way to
you,
this?
you don't have the invitation yet, so this is where you're going to
Okay.
get the yeah, so you know of it, so it could be at your own place. You could even be searching. You could be trying to, like, I forget the term, like, shake some people down to get an invitation, steal an invitation from them. But whatever you think you'd be up to, this is the evening before the vault's supposed to open.
Okay. Um, I think what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure less people have invitations. So people that I who don't already have either a deal or understanding with me, I leave them alone. I let them keep their invitation. I know that we're not going after the same thing, but other people who have not, who are a wild card, I'm trying to either steal their invitation or like bully them from their invitation. So like in this case, you see Scratch sitting on the shoulder of Punch, and like he's this big giant hulking, like kind of like almost in wolf form, um like towering over this I don't know if they're, what do I want to make them? I'll just make them just a powered human. Um, and I'm just like sitting there, kind of like a little bit stretched out like a cat. Like, you know, when a cat is on your shoulder, they just kind of almost looking like they about to fall off, but they're just kind of stretched. And I'm like, so we can do this easy or hard. And I think Punch, I've been kind of making him work a lot of hours, so he's going to enjoy the hard way. So I suggest you give me your invitation.
Punch cracks his knuckles, which sound extremely loud, and just kind of grunts. They are actually a very talkative person, but right now they're doing the whole like big man kind of thing, with a bit of a growl. And actually, I'm gonna have you do a second roll. It is a basic move. You're persuading an NPC with threats, so you get to roll with heart.
Okay, what heart?
Mhm.
Okay. 7.
Okay.
Am I gonna just keep getting 7?
For
You know what?
Noel, you were doing so well, and now you're just getting.
You know what? I take that back because then the dice are gonna just give me low numbers. So you know what? Take that. I'm happy with 7. I'm happy with 7.
So, yeah, the powered human is definitely very intimidated by Punch, and they're like, it's just not that easy, man. I mean, it it's signed. It's in our DNA. I can't just give you my invitation here.
Hmm, I'm hearing a lot of excuses and not a lot of solutions. So can we get some solutions?
Well, what if you give me for the risk, because they'll find out that you're not me and I'm not you. A discount next time I come around.
Hmm. Punch, are you feeling a little bit violently? A little skosh? A little skosh of violence?
He grunts.
If you don't understand that, that means yes, very much so.
Come on, if he punches me out, then it won't transfer. You still won't go in if you just take it from me.
I mean, that's great. Then that's one less person to have to worry about.
I won't get whatever you're looking for. I promise. 10% discount.
How
That's
about
all.
this? How about this? What about you being my second eyes if you go there?
Oh. Yeah. You want to be my +1?
Of course, you should be so lucky that I am offering my services as a +1.
Punch won't be going, right?
Oh, yes, he would definitely be going.
That's +2. I can't really do a plus. I'm not
I'm hearing
known.
excuses and not solutions.
And they're like, I think I can figure it out. Okay. You can be my +2.
Oh my God, you are so great. I'm so glad you invited me. Oh, you're such a sweetheart.
Yeah. And they pull out like a very battered um looking wand. Now, was it battered because of punch, or they're just not that great of a power type wizard wannabe person? You don't know. You don't care. And they're like, I need a drop of your blood or saliva.
Okay, I'll give you a drop of saliva. And please note that, you know what? I'm feeling good today. If you get this and everything goes smoothly, I might actually let you get a discount.
That'd be great. I appreciate it, Scratch. Okay. Um. Then you said saliva. Do you want to seal it with a kiss?
Now, and I just look at Punch. I was like, I don't think Punch will appreciate that.
Oh, right. Alpha dynamics, of course. And they take the and actually I do have a wand here, so they take their wand and they kind of like do a little circle, and the name on the invitation, which is now battered and bloodied, but it's still acceptable, does transform a bit, and it's like, you just need to, I guess, spit right there, and it'll take your name.
Perfect.
And yeah, you do get a sense because with any kind of magic, like it's kind of like it's akin to like signing a contract, but it's very faint because it's just like saying like you agree to come, but that there's no consequences if you don't show up to the thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the invitation does change with their name, and then they see, and you do know this inherently, they see the name that you go by, you see your true demon name
Oh,
on it.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's the first red flag about this wizard thing. But they look at it and they just say you're right, the name they know you by. Scratch like, okay, me and Scratch, yeah. I didn't think that was your real name. Because they have no idea that it shows the proper name.
Well, let's just say my mother, she liked themes.
Mm. I thought you might have liked The Simpsons.
Mm, Punch can still punch you.
And Punch growls again. Right. Yeah. Okay. Uh, sorry. We'll meet just a half hour before, this is the location, and you now can see the location on the card because it didn't show that before.
And just for my sake and my reputation, don't wear that.
Right. I'll be nice and fancy.
You know what? Let's just make sure. And I write down a name of a shop that they can go to.
Hmm.
Tell them Scratch sent you. They'll know what to do.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for not, and looks at Punch. Thank you for not punching me to unconsciousness this time. And he just growls. Can I go now?
Yes, you have to prepare.
Yeah. Great. And he takes the wand and then teleports away. And Punch is like, in a very posh British accent that I cannot do. Like, I would have really liked to have punched him some more.
I know, but it's the threat of it that gets things moving. Only people that are not easily threatened you have to punch. Unfortunately, that's a lot less
You're gonna
common
make me
now.
wear a suit to this thing, aren't you? I'm gonna rip another suit.
Yes. Oh my God, Punch, you will look so good in a suit.
All right. Can we go get
Of
some
course,
samosas?
we have to make room for your tail. That's going to be awkward.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, he takes leaves and everything. does grunt at anybody that comes nearby, and yeah, you finally secured an invitation, and you have preparations for the next day. Excellent. I think while this is all happening, what is Jesus Pena up to? What is he doing?
Okay. So, picture this. It's currently at night, and holding his side, uh, bleeding, walking up to the large hospital that says St. Luke's, uh, Jesus makes his way through like a back entrance. He's been here before. It's where he goes to get his fix, and he really needs it now. He just got out of a brawl battling some otherworldly beings as he pushes his way through the door, trying to stay incognito, not be aware of all the other hospital goers who are inside. He still currently has his battle mask on as he stumbles into the hospital. The lights are flickering, turning in. He pushes the familiar door open, holding his side as he stares directly at Mark, who is there. I would assume doing whatever Mark would normally do in the hospital at this time.
I would like to thank both of you, Mr. and Mrs. Charleston, for really having the hopes and dreams of seeing this treatment through. I know it's in the early stages and we just got approvals, but we really think that you would be able to make a great match for this treatment. Excuse me.
The door bursts open. Get out. Dude, both of you, get the fuck out.
Do you need to talk to them like this?
They immediately are like, "Oh my god!" Like it's and they speak in a indistinct European language, as the Netflix subtitles would say, and immediately shuffle out the door. It's like, "Oh," and one of them is like, "This is what we come to the city for," and as they head out.
Jesus slams the door behind them. Mark, I need a fix now.
Get in the fucking storage closet. Why the...
I got it bad.
Go to the fucking storage closet. I'll be there in 1 minute after clean up this fucking mess you just made.
Don't take too long. As Jesus makes his way over to a storage closet, digging his way in, looking for just oxycodone and anything else, painkillers that will relieve him from this.
It's like a broom closet. There's no actual drugs in there. It's...
I feel like there's like fake, like empty bottles to like trick
yeah.
people.
The fuck is this? Mark!
Did I visibly see him bleeding at all?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I actually go down into the basement into a pharmaceutical lockup and grab some oxycodone, some Percocets, I don't know, drugs that people can steal, I guess. And then I head back up and go to the closet as it's been sort of become through the past few months. What are you doing? These are just like they're not even samples. They're just examples of what they're going to expect when they get their mail delivered to them with their drugs. What are you doing?
I just got into a tussle. 2 demons and a vamp. No offense. They got me good, but I got them better. Give me whatever you got, the strongest. I need to head back out there.
Are you bleeding?
It's a flesh wound.
This isn't Monty Python. What do you need from me right now?
Bandages, painkillers, whatever you got. Make it strong.
You know, you're gonna have to owe me for all this extra medicine you keep seeming to need every other day.
Let's put it on my tab.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure I could talk to James about, you know, making you, and then you wouldn't have to worry about all this mortality
Don't you fucking
bullshit.
dare. I'm not gonna become what a...
What? Sell your soul?
I'd rather die. The drugs, please. I don't want to ask again.
I like am taking my time, almost like a cat with a mouse in its paw. I toss one bottle of Percocet.
Pop in, just down all of it.
Take your time. You're gonna need a new liver and some new kidneys, but with the way that you're doing this.
I'll be fine.
We do that surgery, by the way.
I'll be fine on my own. I just need some time to heal up.
And maybe a glass of water and a shower.
So what's new with you?
Just thinking about who I'm going to take to this wizard's vault.
Wizard's Vault?
Oh. What, you haven't gotten an invite?
Sorry, I don't really get invites from the supernatural.
Anyone is going. I would have assumed you would at least be tailing some horrific specter or of some sort going to this event.
Well, if you're done chastising me, you said you're thinking about bringing someone?
I'm never done chastising you.
You're lucky you're one of the good ones.
Well, how about we call today's little transaction a debt paid if you be my plus one as some extra muscle just in case things get a little freaky.
Deal. When is it? Where is it? What do they got on the menu?
Oh, don't worry, I'll pick you up.
You know where to find me.
I'll smell you 10 blocks away, so yes.
I'll go ahead and grab what other bottles that he has in his hand, down them too, and just
Don't.
put back on the mask. I deem
You're
this
only
a
supposed to
play.
take one of those an hour.
Just storm out.
Every 5 hours. Sorry, that was the other one.
As you're left alone with the mess of the storage room,
Clean all this up.
there is you hear a very familiar voice who shouldn't be there right now. Of a young ghosty ghost named Celeste. I mean, you like him, don't you?
He's got his uses.
You like him.
I'm over 400 years old. I don't like much of anyone. But I am fond.
Well, yeah, but I'm a ghost. That doesn't mean I can't have relationships with other ghosts or with other humans. So don't tell Gabriel that. But
What happens here when you are here is just between us.
besides, what is age when he's him?
What, a hunter?
Yeah, but also he technically died forever ago. He just doesn't realize it yet. So age shouldn't matter, right?
It's something in the bottling process, I guess you could say. Doesn't taste exactly the same as, oh, say, you.
She beams. Well, obviously, I'm one of a kind. I'm special.
Yes, you are. So, how did you get away this time?
He's fighting with the cat again.
I'm not surprised.
He said I couldn't be friends with your ghost, but he didn't say I couldn't be friends with you, so
I'd say that that's a perfectly good loophole, especially with a wizard, I might add. James will really enjoy that.
she grins again. But I should probably get back. I didn't expect to see you in a closet, though.
I had no choice. It was like being trapped.
There's always a choice. And you chose to help him. And keep helping him. Or
Celeste,
enabling, I think is the right word you doctors like to use.
I don't hate people. I hate most people. This one seems to actually give a shit. And when you've been around here for as long as I have, that doesn't happen very often. To see someone who gives a little bit more shit about other people than they do themselves. I
Fair
admire
enough.
that.
Well, you better dress nicely for. You better hope he knows how to dress nicely for you for tomorrow.
If I could send you over there to help, I would.
Oh no, Gabriel would not like me hanging around Jesus. I don't even know if I want to hang around with Jesus. Alone, that is.
I mean, there is a certain danger about it, you know?
You like danger.
Always have, always will.
Mm.
Napoleon, you know. Napoleon.
Oh my god. She was like, dynamite?
No. My sweet, sweet spring child.
Oh, good luck with all this. And she points to the mess on the floor.
I'll be sorting through 7-syllable names for the next 3 hours.
Boring. Glad I don't have to do that. And she whisks away.
Glad I don't either. As the scene closes.
Yeah. Speaking of Gabriel, as she whisks back in, what is Gabriel up to?
As stated, Gabriel is fighting with Scheme. You see Gabriel and Scheme in the sanctum, which, to paint a picture, is Isolde Valmont's estate. Or formerly, she is a deceased vampire, so this is now my residence. So think of it sort of like a Lara Croft, maybe a little smaller scale sort of place. And you see him over a table holding a crystal with over at San Francisco, and Scheme sitting on the table, tail wagging, saying, "You're not saying the words right." And I'm saying, "I'll chant it again, okay? I will chant it one more time for you." And I will hold the crystal and focus my power and say, "By starlight's gleam and shadow's veil, through twisting paths I seek the trail. Across the realms beyond the breach, the tethered soul I now beseech. Through these ancient winds and waters deep, reveal the anchor and where it sleeps. Blood of life and breath of death, show me where its roots, its breath. Soul unbound, yet bound to form, I call thee through the arcane storm. Mirror pool, or crystal clear, unveil the truth and bring this anchor near. I speak the soul's forgotten name, Celeste. Guide my sight through time and space and lead me to this anchor's place. And hopefully, this crystal now points to where the vault is on the map.
It does. It kind of it takes a few a minute or so, and um, obviously, obviously the cat looks unimpressed with your thing. And you're like, I still think you should have done it in Old English.
It's so much harder to get the proper tone if you use Old English. I think modern English suffices, don't you really? Perhaps Latin next
Modern
time.
modern wizards are so lazy these days. Back in my day, they would do lots of worship and do everything we were supposed to tell them to do. And then as she's ranting, it does finally stick to where do I actually want? Yeah, um, to Telegraph Hill, where famously there's a tall building, that a landmark that's in the shape of a fire hose that very old lady of San Francisco back in the day erected for her firefighting husband. Coit Tower, Telegraph Hill, and it would look like, how would you have a party there? But it's probably liminal space stuff. But that's where it's like, oh, it worked. You got lucky.
I got lucky. Actually, how did this happen? Hmm. Have we. I know that some wizards poke around there, but. Hmm. I'm so excited though. This spell, Celeste is going to be so surprised. We've been searching for her anchors for. What is it? Almost. Really? It's almost been 2 years now? And it's been under our
She's
nose
been
this whole
stuck with
time.
you for 2 years. Wow.
Hey, hey, hey. She has been guided and nurtured, and we have made such progress. She is not putting herself into danger anymore. You should see how she
Where is
listens
she?
to me now. She's in her room studying.
Are you sure?
No? I mean, like, should I be? I should try. Like, isn't that like. She's like my teen, right? Should I double check?
I've seen, and granted, she doesn't have the right opinion all the time. But she's like, I've seen TikTok videos where you're supposed to take the door down for teenagers.
We'll put a pin in that, and let's go see if she's there. But uh,
Wait,
Celeste.
and as you say, Celeste, and she says, wait. Celeste does appear. It's like, I was just getting a snack, because she likes to, she can't consume. She likes to stare at a bowl of pasta and just take in the smell of it and everything.
Oh, I mean, I'll get some. We can go get Italian tomorrow. I know you're dying, but I found
Always
some.
dying.
Oh, sorry. You're right. I really need to work on that. I'm sorry. But guess what? I have some good news. I found an
Found a date.
anchor.
Oh, an
A da-
anchor.
A date? I mean, mm, we'll put a pin in that too. Yeah. You know, I mean,
I thought, I really thought. I mean, I don't remember a lot and everything from what happened, but I just thought all the anchors maybe got destroyed. You sure?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Scheme and I have been working on this ritual all day, and it just.
She turns to look where Scheme was, but Scheme is no longer there.
I promise you, Scheme was helping me. It's not just my raving lunatics.
I believe
Scheme,
you. And
I'm so excited. I know this is something you've given up on, but I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great, to have the tie, and and I'm told by other ghosts that I'll get more of my memories back once we have that, and then I can finally move on, and you don't have to be stuck with a petulant teenager. I mean, you still have Scratch, or not Scratch, sorry, it, but
I mean, I don't think. uh, I hope that you don't think that you're stuck with me. I know that our circumstances are not normal, so to speak, but I like you, and I hope that you appreciate this wonderful place we've built and some of the memories we've made together. And I just want to help
everything.
you.
I know, but you should. You're old. When I'm gone, you're not gonna have anybody other than the cats, and they might kill you once I'm gone.
I mean, but you know that they're going to. But
Right.
I don't. Let's just say I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I plan to be around for a little while longer. And even though I do have this charming, sometimes disheveled white beard, I am only 62. I have
That's
quite a
old.
few. I still have quite a few years left. Hey, miss, that's very rude. Please don't be like that. Have you gotten the mail lately?
Speaking of, that's what that's what the cat went to go get, and comes back with with a parcel in their mouth, and it muffled goes, "I technically can't kill you. I can hurt you. I can make you want to die, but I technically can't kill you."
Thank
Spit,
you.
spits the mail in front of, yeah.
I'll grab the package. I'll open it up. This looks interesting. I wonder, maybe there's something going on in town. And I'll like rifle through the package and open it
Yeah.
up.
And in the package, looks very nondescript, kind of package. But when you open it up, you do feel the sense of like magic on it, like very low level kind of thing. And inside is a small tip of a spiral horn, and connected to it is an invitation.
Ooh.
And Celeste kind of like stares at this, and like she gets like bad vibes from it. She kind of like goes away from it. And Kat does like kind of hiss, like that's that's big demon.
Big
Keep her
demon?
song. Yeah, that's like a level 100 demon. You don't want that near you.
This? This looks like a unicorn horn.
No.
It's a carved bone, you think? I'll like inspect it to try and understand it.
Yeah, and let me see what moves you have.
Oh, you're right. I might actually have something. I would like to let it out and try and detect the presence and function of a magical item.
Yeah. So you roll with spirit.
I will roll with spirit. Oh, I love this die. I have to use this one. Ooh, that is a 7 on the dice, plus 2 is 9.
Okay. So you mark corruption. And you understand, like, it's so, because it, like, you've obviously interacted with tons of magical artifacts and relics and all of the things. When you touched it initially, it just feels like, yeah, dead bone, like maybe like just a dead animal, probably used as an ingredient kind of thing. But when you activate your abilities, that is essentially a glamour of being like pretending to be nondescript and everything. It is the most darkest evil aura you've ever sensed in this small little tip of a spiraled horn, and you can even taste it in your mouth almost, and the, immediately you think of Jesus. You don't know why, you just think of Jesus.
Oh, oh, there's like pennies. Oh my god, Celeste, you're right. What is this? And I'll like read the actual letter a little bit more deeply.
Yeah, and then in the letter, like the first part of it is the letter, and the second part is the official invitation to the Wizard's Vault. Um, the letter essentially states that um, I can't wordsmith as easily as you can
Oh, no
in the
worries.
moment,
Yeah. No, that's
but
okay.
it is technically in like almost like a haiku kind of format
Okay.
of indicating that that a new era has started, that everything has been converging. Your past is going to become your future, and your connections will be your downfall.
Interesting. And then the invitation to the vault and
Yes,
the location, which then I connect to it being where I scried.
exactly.
Interesting. Celeste, this is becoming, the plot thickens, as they say. I'm going, but don't worry. I have an idea, and we will find out what your anchor is doing there and why it was hidden from us. And I will be safe. Don't you worry.
What are you going to do about that? And they look visibly worried about it, and the cat's still hissing, and it's just like, "Eh,"
Um, don't you worry, a scotch. I will put this behind the wards. And I will state that as a part of my sanctum, I have magical wards as one of the boons that I've chosen. So I
Hmm,
will take it to like the vault, the magical vault, where it will be shielded and at least sort of magically encased.
yeah. And once you do that,
Can I
Celeste,
actually? Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Can I
no, go
improvise
ahead.
something?
Yeah,
I'll say to Celeste, please don't worry. And I will, even though I know I will put it down and I will say, I'm doing this for you, dear. And I will give her like a hug, even though we phase a little bit.
yeah.
She knows I like it. This is for you. And we will find what you need. And I will, uh, I'll look at Scheme and I'll say, can you just knock it off? You're being a little too dramatic. I'm going to put this away. I will see you all in a little bit. To I need to look into this a little further and make a few phone calls. And I'm gonna pick it up and go to walk towards that vaulted room.
Yeah.
And I'm like to text Scratch. And I text Scratch and I say, guess who got an invitation to something fun? We're skipping the market this Sunday and going somewhere special. Send.
I love it.
And I think like Scratch replies, already got one.
Ah, you just see like surprise emoji, surprise emoji, surprise emoji, like explosion, 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 hand praise emoji. Like way too many for an older gentleman to be doing, but he doesn't know it. He's trying to be fun. So you get like way too many emojis back, and I'll say, chat with you later. Gotta lock up some new artifacts.
I think I reply thumbs up, like the little prayer hands and just like dollar signs.
I'll do like the dollar sign like face with the like you know what I mean, like that. I'll send that one back too. And then my last text will be to Jesus, and I will say, um, we need to chat. Dot dot dot, and leave it at that.
Excellent. When you do put the artifact away and everything, you come back out. Celeste is she's going through your closet right now to like find clothing for you, and Scheme out of nowhere just kind of jumps onto your shoulder, and they go very seriously. I know you've been in this game for over 50 years, but don't think you know everything. Be careful.
Are you being sweet to me? Do you just want some extra tuna tonight?
Scratches your cheek and then and then jumps off.
Uh, I'll touch the scratch and I'll say, back to scheme. I appreciate it.
And they just give you a little hiss and like up like a cough bath and go off to like help Celeste choose a ridiculous outfit.
Just leave it on my bed.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has an invitation. People are planning. I do want to cut to, let's see here. Yeah, Jesus, um after you got healed and everything, where do you go? Do you go to your wherever you're staying? Do you continue hunting?
Jesus would probably hunt a little bit more until retiring, um, or actually until meeting up with Dinesh
Hmm.
to get arm himself to prepare for this trip that he's supposed to be taking with Mark.
Yeah, when you get to Dinesh's spot, let me actually roll for this. Oh, nope. Yeah. It is closed up. Dinesh is never closed up at this hour.
The fuck? Dinesh! It's me! It's Jesus! Open up!
It is eerily quiet. You don't even see like because you've been there when he's closed up, and you would see like you knew where the like recording lights are for overnight surveillance. Those aren't on. Everything's dark.
Something's not right here. I want to attempt to see if I can sneak in and get it and see what's going on.
Yeah, I would say this could be a mislead, distract, or trick kind of thing because you're like misleading if there's anybody around to like get in. So you can
Okay.
roll with mind for that.
Sure. Mind, well, not my best, but yeah. Not my worst either. Okay, that's going to be a 5.
Okay. Um, you do. It's more of the sense that you do like manage to sneak in and everything. It's just that because everything feels off, you trip a wire. And everything, and it's definitely like because Dinesh by this point has trust you. Like, yeah, you're the only other hunter that understands that these vampires, these demons need to be put in their place, and all the other monster lovers just don't get it. They're hippies essentially in Dinesh's mind. So you know where all his traps are, and so the fact that there's one where you step on that basically almost blinds you because all the lights, the floodlights inside the store come on and everything, and you are blinded for a moment. Yeah.
Ugh, shit!
And you see on the floor an unconscious Dinesh amongst, which it would not make sense because Dinesh in a half-made ritual circle.
Dinesh. The fuck, Dinesh! Get up! I slide down and try to check his pulse and see if he's alive.
Yeah, he has barely breathing, but he is breathing. You don't necessarily see any marks on him other than from the fall itself. Um, and you do see kind of like, even though this wasn't a fully made circle, it is slightly glowing a bit. He does kind of grunt, but it does not seem like he'll easily become awake.
I will scoop him up to get him out of this circle and place him down on a flat surface or somewhere that's not obviously enchanted.
Yeah, you in his office he does have a cot, because sometimes he gets hyper fixated when he's making a new technology, so he'll stay like overnight because it's his store, but it's also his workshop and everything. So you set him there. As soon as you set him down, you hear like this like rumbly flash. You go back, the circle is gone.
The fuck is this? I want to try to look around and see if there's anything suspicious, anything strange in here that could lead me to believe what could have happened, or even if I'm alone or not.
Yeah, let me double check. I think I can just have you do that, but I'm just. Yeah. You look around and everything, and it does seem like there was a bit of a scuffle here. You have a feeling, although you wouldn't be able to know what was taken, stuff has been taken from here, and it's the ones that were coded as looking like regular things, but definitely had a lot of supernatural elements to them that Dinesh would only sell to people who know what they were doing. And you do because you are used to like hunting the supernaturals, and it smells to you like wizards. Like it reminds you of Gabriel. Not that it's Gabriel's scent or anything specifically, but it's just like that thing that like surrounds wizards generally.
The fuck is this? What? And then at this time, my cell phone would probably go boo boo, and I look and see the text that Gabriel sent. Speak of the fucking devil. Yeah, we gotta talk now. Send! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Send!
And as you're sending that, Dinesh in the other room is slowly waking up, and when he slowly wakes up, his eyes kind of flash an unnatural glow, and that's where we're going to cut it tonight.
Do we know what color they're starting to glow?
Right.
Red, maybe.
Oh, spicy. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cliffhanger.
Oh my goodness! I got an ability for this too. Ooh.
Yeah. So what we do next is end of session and then stars of wishes. So end of session, which should be on the basic tab. I think I just kept it. Basic moves tab. Um, at the end of every session, decide if you've grown closer to a circle that you've engaged with this session. Y'all are technically different circles. If you have a question, if you had one or the other, let me know and I'll let you know if you've actually engaged with it. Um, you increase your score in that circle and then you decrease your score in a different circle. You tell the MC how your relationships to these communities have changed because of the events of the story, and then you get to mark one of the two circles involved in those changes. So, unlike some other PBTA games like Masks, where you gain advancement with failing dice, the way you gain advancement in Urban Shadows is interacting with other people in other circles. Um, they did update it to make it a little bit harder, I noticed. So anytime you make a circle move, which doesn't always happens, whenever you trigger intimacy with a PC or NPC, whether you cash in or honor a debt, or you make a move that tells you to mark a circle. So this end of session move allows you that chance that if none of that actually happened in the session, then you can at least still mark something. And so I am just going to easily go through left to right on the character sheet. So Omar, what two circles do you think you engaged with? Which one that you think you got close to possibly, and one that you got distant from?
I don't know. I would say probably I got close to the knight in a way since I was dealing with a mark. But I don't know if it was more close or just me just getting a fix. So I don't know if I got close to any circle or farther away quite yet.
I mean, you got an invitation.
That's true. Okay, you're right. You're right. He did.
He even
give
asked for it.
That's true. That
Forced
is
you to
very
be his
true.
date.
You're right. You are right. So I would say I got closer to the knight.
Yeah. So It's not the 3 check marks below, but it's the check mark next to your number. You would mark you get or sorry, not yet. So you can now bring your knight from a 1 to a 2.
Okay.
What circle do you think you had the least amount? Which I would say wild since you didn't interact with wild.
Yeah, I would say wild or power, but probably
I- I'll leave it to you whether or not you want to get a -2 in wild or just get a -1 in power.
yeah, my person doesn't really Jesus probably the weakest thing he fights against are like fake creatures and all that. He doesn't really deal with that much. So probably I'll get a -2 in wild.
Okay. Just remember demons are wild.
Oh, demons are wild? Oh, I thought they were night. So then I'll probably say power. I don't want to get
Yeah.
too far away from there.
So
Oh.
JP was battling some PvP here.
Mhm.
And then between night and wild, you can choose which one to mark off, which is the checkbox next to the number.
And what does that mean again? Remind me.
That's how you advance. That's how you
Oh,
get levels.
yeah, let's go on night.
Okay, excellent. Now we will go to the Wizward. What do you think you were closer to and far away from?
So I think that I found because specters, which is what Celeste is a knight, correct?
Correct.
I think that I finding the anchor or like thinking that my spell went correct, and I think I'm furthering my goal. That I think I'm getting closer to night, and knowing that I understand that there's different wizard factions and that sometimes groups don't align, but I think that I've been here long enough that like word might have been out that I'm seeking an anchor and it's still been hidden from me. So I would say that's a decrease in power.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
So my knight will go from -1 to 0 and my power go from 2 to 1.
And
And
you
then
choose one of those two to mark.
I'll knock off knight.
Okay. Excellent. Next is JP.
I think I really I guess are wizards on their power?
Yes.
Okay.
Your bodyguard is knight.
Okay. Well, I'm close to my bodyguard. It's my bodyguard. But I think I'm kind of like so even though I kind of low key threatened the wizard to get the invitation, I did kind of like say, "Hey, I'll still give you a discount if everything goes smoothly." So, um, and plus, like, I'm texting emojis with another wizard.
Yeah.
Overall net positive with power.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, um, yeah, I think I probably go up in power.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say you probably didn't interact. Technically, you didn't interact with yourself, Wild, or Mortalis. So my suggestion would be Mortalis. You don't care about humans right now. You got schemes to do. But that's up to you, if you think.
Okay, so I go to 0 for power now, and then um, what do I check off for?
So you went from a -1 to 0 to power, correct?
Yes.
All right, and then you have to lower one,
Okay, so
which my
yeah, I
suggestion
think
would be Mortalis
yeah,
or Wild.
yeah.
Yeah, so that becomes -1. And then between power and Mortalis, you can choose which checkbox you want to mark off.
Um, and what that's supposed to do again?
That's like your XP.
Okay, that's the XP.
Yeah.
I think I'll put it on the power.
Okay. No, not those boxes. The one above it.
Oh, the one above. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries. It's hard to translate the character sheet onto Google Sheets. Um. So yeah, that is good. And then the vamp.
You're muted.
I think I'm going to unmute, and then I think I had a very strong interaction with Mortalis.
Mhm.
That whole scene with Jesus. So I think I did that right. And then I don't think I did anything with Wild. I had no real demonic interactions
Yeah,
or anything. So
that would go down to -1.
yeah. And then Mortalis should be 2. Then do I check each of the boxes as well?
You
Because I
choose one of those two to check off.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm gonna do Wild then, because I feel like I'm gonna interact with Mortalis at least the next session once.
Yeah, that's you never know. Usually I tend to do a lot of wild circles and I forget about the other ones. So we'll see with it being at the Wizard Con. And then the other part of end of session would be in addition, because sometimes when you're role playing you don't think about it too often. Think about any debts you may owe or debts that are owed to you as a result of the session. Tell the group and note them down for next session. Like the only one I could think of that might have actually happened was Jesus owing Mark a debt
Yeah, I
before.
was gonna say that. I think I owe Markedev for letting me in on this because I'm a connoisseur or someone who's searching for relics for a special demon. So being invited to this and giving me drugs, yeah, I owe you some more.
Exactly.
I like it.
And as a reminder to our audience, debts can be very well accrued. Accrued. It's a cash economy. You can use debts to like make your roles better, um, and make people do things for you, both PCs and NPCs. So yeah, that is that. That is now it's time for stars and wishes. Stars, for anybody who doesn't know, stars are things you'd like to highlight about the game. It could be about yourself. It could be about other players or maybe a mechanic of the game that you really enjoyed of this session. I tend to try to like name a star for everybody. You don't have to. Whatever comes in your head is all good. And then wishes are things you'd like to see, not necessarily directly for next session, but at the very least, or it could be for next session or at least before the end of the campaign. What would you like to see? And that can also be, I just want to be able to use this mechanic or a story plot point. Um, and it could be about yourself or another person. Like I want to see those two NPCs kiss. That can be a wish. And that's a way to help us remember, like, oh yeah, we want to strive towards things. So I will go first. Um, I want to say for Omar, I loved how you introduced yourself, like just going to the hospital and being like, "Oh yeah, like I need drugs," and just like, and then and bringing in uh, Mark into it just immediately. I thought that was it was a great dynamic to see that in. I loved your questions and when you were in character in the intro questions, just really getting into it. And of course, +10 to your fucking mask. And the fact that you got it to move a little bit was really cool too.
That's hard. You need like a good jaw action to get
Yeah.
this to move. Oh.
So really fantastic. I can't wait to see Jesus more interact. I can't. I'm gonna say this wish now. Jesus and Scratch to interact. That I can't wait. Um, for Zeki, everything like the little bits that we got of like hints of like the lore drops we were doing in chat, and then like just James Marsters. Come on,
I
that was
was like,
really
what is
good.
just like the most like archetype seductive would be a great emotional vampire to have made me like hundreds of years ago in my own version of a diary of a or interview with a vampire.
Yeah, nice. Um, and yeah, I like the way you interacted with Celeste and just was immediately like, yeah, I'm just gonna invite this crazy person to this wizard's ball because I know he needs it, kind of thing. Um, yeah, I really like. I enjoy. I mean, yeah, we like blood vampires, but I really enjoy when people use emotional vampiring and everything, or using alternate vampire means, because then we get some interesting storytelling out of it. So I do love that. Um, for our lovely resident wizard. Um, I didn't expect it to be so sweet and caring. I don't know what I was expecting, but like this sweet little wizard dude. I'm so used to the wizards being assholes, so it was nice to like not have for once. Just how much care he has for Celeste and everything, and trying to be a good father figure in their life, and then the little bit of banter with Scheme, and then of course the whole texting emojis was just like, oh, he's trying to be Gen Z, kind of thing. Was great. I'm very excited to see like how your powers manifest and like what happens when you get angry or something. And then of course the ritual spell you wrote was very awesome. Like well done.
Thank you.
Um yeah. And then what can I say about you, JP? uh, I love that the fact that you brought in Scratch, and I love like always your vocal work. I'm the only one of our whole group that likes all the different voices you do. Um, I like the sass. I can't wait to see. Yeah, not just with Jesus, but with everybody else. Like interacting with everybody, and then just seeing what shenanigans you're going to get into at this Wizard's Vault. Um, yeah, I just love that. I also love that you were able to jump into this game without having played it before, and you knocked it out of the park, like creating a character and all that. So fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah. But because of that, JP, you get to say your stars first.
I really enjoy the scene between Mark and Jesus. I thought that was very interesting start, and it explains so much about like their relationship, and I can't wait to see how that like how it progresses. So I thought that was a great scene. Um and also like the ritual that that gave her that was really good. I was like, oh, okay. This a whole production. All right, I'm into it.
Awesome, thank you, Zeki.
Definitely that crazy ass mask, Omar.
Mhm.
Uh, you always pull out all the stops with doing some cosplay on our streams, so I knew something was coming. I just did not know it was going to be that mask. uh, JP, I always love to give stars to people that I've never played a game with and had a great time. So thank you for joining us tonight on behalf of the Tail D20s. I had such a fun time, like dipping the toe in to like see how like you were gonna play your character and stuff. And I'm like really excited to get to like this big vault scene where we're all kind of together so we can actually cause some genuine chaos. And like I'm very excited to see where this goes. And Travis, ridiculous as always.
I love my
Thank you so much.
incantations.
Yes. And of course, Diana, thank you so much for guiding us through this journey and making all of the explanations for like how to play the game and everything to the audience. I think that was something we're trying to do, get our audience like a little bit engaged and involved in like learning these types of games with Magpie. And I think you knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to like really dive into this story now that we've made like a really great concrete base for everything.
Awesome, thank you, Omar.
Oh, yeah, this was an awesome time, Diana. I love playing in your games. I love how much you love San Francisco and you bring it to life. It inspires me is when I run my games coming up to like really bring towns that I'm from to life. Like that's just really authentic and it's impressive and inspiring. So thank you so much and getting us into it. You always do an amazing job. So setting the scene and you really know how to do a cliffhanger. I love you. Trust me, everyone tell you I love me a cliffhanger.
Oh.
Mm, mm, woman after my heart. I love me some cliffhangers, so I cannot wait for that. So awesome job! Thank you so much for hopping on the channel and doing this yet again. Greatly appreciate it. And JP, for the first time playing with you, this was fantastic. We didn't have a scene together this time, but when we were making our characters and when we were bantering, going back and forth, I can tell that we're gonna have an awesome dynamic playing together, and I cannot wait to dive in. What an awesome job! You're such a character, and I love that about players. It really brings the session alive and makes it such an enjoyable experience. So, ooh, there's gonna be. I'm gonna be sad that this only a 3-shot and not like a campaign. So I could tell this is gonna be so good. Zeki, awesome scene partner. I was hoping I didn't know because obviously we're improving and going back, so I didn't know how it was go, but I really wanted to kind of make it like gritty, introduce my character in that way, and you just played off me so well, and it was fantastic. Um, I'm so glad you introduced it with like having two people there sessions in there, and I was like, oh my god. But like I was just picturing a scene from a TV show happening in there, and like this crazy masked person coming in, these unfortunate Eastern European customers or clients running out there. I thought it was just so funny and hilarious. So and then like of course you like just making all those like I knew Napoleon, and then in chat jumping in all these other characters. So you always bring like the history and all that to life and the nerdisms, which is a fantastic playing with you. So kudos. And Travis, I was going to say the incantations, but you've heard that several times already. You've made incantations of every wizard that you've ever made. So as expected, I would expect no less. I think what I'm really gonna kudos you on is like an inside joke, is that your character's last name is Walnut, which is like a whole inside thing about the street he lives on and all that stuff. But I thought it was really, I thought it was really funny as well. So awesome job as always, fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Zendrick, what are your stars?
That leaves me. So I would say, JP, fantastic playing with you. Like the other said, it was um, just exciting to see you immediately dive in and have your voice and have your scene. You really painted the picture and pulled us in, and I love it. As you can tell here, we are all super dramatic, full RP. You're getting the voices, you're getting the cosplay, you're getting the incantations. So to see that you're, one of us, I loved it. So thank you so much. And I personally cannot wait for our silly banter, because I feel like I have this whole like scene in my mind already, and I cannot wait to dive into it with you. So kudos to you for that. I'm so excited. Um, Omar and Zeki, that scene was fantastic. That was, again, you guys just dove right in and immediately brought the scene to life. And I'm like, damn, I need to step my, blank up, and really pull it in next time. So you're an inspiration as always. And I just really love the way that you guys brought your characters to life. And again, I love this storyline and everything. So both of you, kudos to that. And also role playing with like NPCs and just sort of coming up on the fly. Just it's so refreshing and just enjoyable. And I missed role playing with you all. So that was awesome. And Diana, thank you so much for being a wonderful GM and leading us through this. Like they both said, I personally love Urban Shadows. It's my favorite Magpie setting, I think. And I also am running a, a a session of Urban Shadows later on this month for Magpie Madness. So you have given me lots of reminders and tips and tricks offline, as well as during the session, to remind me of how to like really bring the power. So kudos to you for that. Just so awesome, so energizing, and so welcoming. And thank you so much for coming back and being a part of this. And last but not least, since I'm the showrunner, I'd like to thank you, audience, for being here. Thank you, Caloran, for resubscribing. Thankfully, Delightfully Divergent for following and subscribing to us. Mark Song for following, and Felsune for chatting. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And just chatting and hanging out means the world. And I'm glad that you could be a part of this world with us. So thank you to all of our viewers. And if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, you matter too. Mwah.
Yes. Yeah, thank you all. Don't forget that we're doing this for charity also. So if you can afford it, please donate. Or if you can't afford it, share the links and everything.
Yep.
Last thing is quick wishes. I am just going to go down the list that I've written here. So JP, what are your wishes?
I am really digging the dynamic between Mark and Jesus. So I am really excited to see like if we can do like a flashback to how they even met and like have this like kind of uncomfortable friendship going. Like I would love to see that.
Awesome, yeah. Oma, what would you like to see?
I really want to like have a full on blade scene, like battle with like I can't wait to get into the thick of it and start slicing people up and like working with the team and seeing how everyone like dives into conflict together and seeing what everybody brings. I'm really excited to see something like that. I think it's going to be really fun and everyone's doing their own stick, and I'm also excited to interact with Scratch. I really think that kind of bubbliness with this like dark and gritty person is going to be a really good like the straight man and the jokester kind of thing. I'm really excited for that as well.
Awesome, thank you. And Zendrick,
You're muted.
you're muted.
Oh no.
Thank you. I was trying to be courteous. Would love the opportunity. I mean, I think we are to cast our spells because, as you all said before, I can't wait to manifest my magic. And I have the ability to hex and harm some people. So I'd like if there are a few jerks, like obvious jerks, that we can feel good about harming, so to speak, and maybe like it's like a sort of group camaraderie, like fuck them. I feel like that would be a really fun, good moment to sort of bring us all together. But other than that, I would say I don't know of the Diana and JP and Scheme and Scratch drama, so I want to bring Scratch and Scheme together and maybe have like a
Oh,
powwow at the Velmont estate and maybe a dramatic reunion of some sort. So that might be fun.
Yeah. Hopefully JP appreciates my version of their old character. It's not gonna be quite the
Yeah.
same, obviously.
right. It's weird because like before in the other game, I was playing Scheme and the someone else GM it, so
I think
they
it was
was playing
Chris in
Scratch.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, it was Chris
Oh,
playing Scratch.
so
So
you get to interact with your previous character. That could be
yeah,
fun. Okay, so
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see that. I feel like that's fun.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. And last but not least, Zeki, your wishes, please.
Well, I was gonna say I am wishing to get the siblings in James Marsters together just to like see what their like history is. I think that would be kind of hilarious to explore. And see just like what you could like dangle in front of them as like a James Marsters impersonation. I think that's just be
Are you trying to say
fantastic.
James Marsters as many times as you can to dig me?
Yes. But also I really, after hearing JP's wish about the flashback with Jesus and Mark, I really kind of want to do one of those too now.
Mm-hmm. We
So
got
that's
homework
like
to do.
yeah, we got some homework.
Yeah.
Also, Diana US Celeste really
Yeah,
moment.
yes,
Oh
I want
my
more Celeste screen
god.
time for sure.
Yes.
Thank
I
you. Yeah.
love Celeste already.
Awesome. Yeah. yeah, I had a blast. I'm so glad to be back and doing this with y'all. Um, and I can't wait for next week. I guess I'll throw it back to you then, Rick, for
Yeah. Thanks everyone for
outros.
being here. Really appreciate you spending your time with us. And thanks again to Diana and our lovely cast here. And as we said before, you can catch us next Friday. We also have lots more events. So please, we'll put the link in chat for our events page. Check us out. We have lots of Magpie Madness. Again, you have a chance to win a prize if you type Magpie Madness in chat through any of our streams throughout this month. And also, it is for charity and for a wonderful cause going to the Trevor Project. So please, as we said before, if you can, please donate. If you cannot, share the links. Um, sharing is free, sharing is caring, and we love that. Thank you so much all for being here, spending time with us, and we will see you. Oh no, how could I can't sign off that way. From the first chapter to the last page. Good night. Goodbye, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
There it is.
Bye.